discretion is advised.
Seemed to be a little new. I clicked the wrong button on the Stream Deck. That was almost, guys, I say this with absolute certainty, it was almost a tragedy. Happy Thursday. You're listening and or watching Pwnecast. This is episode 225. We are in patch 8.0 for a very brief couple of weeks left, question mark. I don't think anybody really knows. Not really sure what the boys are doing, but it's kind of weird, but whatever. Tonight we're going to be talking about everything that goes through a squirrel's mind, because that's really what's important here. Just kidding. Well, am I? I don't really know, actually. See? Squirrel's mind. It just is what it is. But for tonight's show, we are going to do our best to stay on task, keep focused, and inform all of you wonderful people about all things that are in... These guys, I don't even know what the fuck they're even doing. They just ruin my intro. They just ruin it. Like, just burn it to the ground because it's ruined. Are you sure you're not my children? Just kidding. I'm proud of my kids. I'm just kidding. We do have a lot to talk about. Just kidding. That's a lie. We really don't. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, but I don't want to tackle a portion of the 8.1 stuff until after BlizzCon, just because I feel like we're not going to give you our 100%. But we do have discussions surrounding all the vendors they're adding in 8.1. Class abilities making a comeback. What does this even mean for the world? Guys, I don't know if you heard, right? Dad Linka's back. So we're going to talk about stuff. And in that stuff, more clickbait. I have a lot of clickbait. Because that's how you get all the girls. Clickbait. We have that and much, much more. So make sure you guys stay right here.
In 2014, a crack commando unit was banned from trade chat for comments they didn't make. These men and women promptly escaped from the Stormwind stockades to the Iron Forge underground. Today, still hunted by the trolls of trade chat, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, then maybe you can hire the Pwnecast. Leader and brains of the operation, it's Belle.
I want tacos so bad.
Betrayer of the priestly order and huntard extraordinaire, it's Remedies.
Then how did you eat it in the first place?
Lovable defender of the lesser races of Azeroth, it's Murky.
Because a turtle made it to the water.
With the Pwnecast team assembled, let the battle for Azeroth begin.
Something happened, and like condensation developed on my cup of ice water, and like it leaked in weird places, guys. Let me unmute these two because I'm sure they're gonna have something to say.
Because it causes precipitation.
Oh my god. So hey, who did the we're live post in Discord?
I
thought Rem was.
What is missing from that post? Where are they going to watch us?
Well, if they're already in there, they should know where to go.
That's like saying if a man walks past the trash can that's overflowing, he should automatically know to dump it without the wife having to ask.
Wow, way to call out my...
But then again, here we go with that not being a thing.
I was gonna say lover, but I don't want to make it weird. I just
Nobody hyperlinked it. Like, what's going on here?
So, like, is everything okay with the channel? The output for the video isn't working on my, like, preview thing, so I don't know. Is, like, why can't I see the video? Can everybody see the video? Is it just me that can't see it?
I see the stream. Stream is looking good.
How come I can't see it? Why is Wowhead overlaid? What is happening? Guys.
Because you added extensions. You're all sorts of fucked up right now.
Well, how do I remove it?
That I couldn't tell you.
Hold on. Maybe I'm fixing it. I don't know what's going on, guys. I did something. So I literally see no video. Like, I don't see any video at all. So there is video. We're good. Everybody's okay. We see video.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, man. Guys, things are just not working out. It's Firefox because I swapped back to Firefox because...
Probably user error because everyone else is fine.
Well, I don't know what's going on.
You just called her stupid.
I can't see my forehead. So I did want to tell you guys something funny. So yesterday, you guys know something is happening. Okay, but I see it
Things
on...
are happening.
Guys, why do I have these extensions? I don't know why I have this Wowhead stuff.
They've been there for a while, I believe. So I guess we're gonna pick
Hold
out.
on, I'm gonna do that while we do the show, because guys, I'm a professional. This is what we do. We do things when we're supposed to. So let me just delete this crap. Let me delete this crap.
We didn't start the fire.
The fire's been burning since the world's been churning. We didn't start the fire.
Oh God, guys, this is what my life is like 24 hours a day. Can you imagine?
We're supposed to entertain while you're fixing some shit. So that was the best we had.
But what if you did start the fire? Because I have it on good authority that there was a fire started. You may or may not had a hand in starting said fire. No?
Where? I mean, I'm not a paramedic.
Yeah, which one? You have to tell me which one. There was a lot of them. I mean, I don't know anything about
I need
this
plausible deniability. I need to know which one you're talking about.
Don't say big words. Don't. Like,
apologize.
there should be no big words being said here. Like, at all.
There's literally no
It's
words in my vocabulary
Thursday.
that you do not know. So, I'm
So,
confused.
guys, maybe I should start the show, huh?
Well, we went through the intro, so I assume that we're...
Yeah,
Guys,
we're live,
welcome
right?
back! Welcome
Holy
back.
shit.
If you're new to Pwnecast, my name is Belle, and I'm glad you're still here if you're still watching. With me are my two co-hosts, Remedies, the driving Miss Daisy.
We're going to drive right into a fucking tree on the side of the road.
Why would you say that? Oh my God. He's the reason I drink.
Apple juice?
It's true. You're the reason I drink.
Apple juice out of the
You're going to
glass
be the
bottle.
reason I'm drinking to forget this next week at BlizzCon. Just so we're clear.
Wow, I'm going to leave you on the side of a fucking road.
You can't.
You can walk.
You can't.
Says who?
Says the Find Me on my phone. That will tell on you. And also, I have Murky, the... I thought I had it, but I don't. The Magical Murloc. I wanted something different.
Murloc.
Like, something like cutting edge, you know? Hold on, I gotta move my camera around. I wanted something
Oh
different.
no, he's just ahead of the curve. He's not cutting edge quite yet.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That dad joke.
No, it was a fact.
It's terrible.
I haven't done Mythic yet.
You should, because you're gonna beat the game.
I gotta transfer servers, and I don't think you want that.
It's not like I paid for your transfer to begin with, so I think we're okay on that front, FYI. Like, I think we're good. We're gonna make it. We're going to be okay.
You hear that, Lotus? We're going to Sargeras.
I'll fucking literally kill you. Like, I will literally kill you. That's not even like a euphemism or like I'm being funny.
He goes...
Like, literally.
You want to know how I feel about that?
So, guys, we are going to do our best to keep on some type of task, but I'm going to be really honest. It's very difficult, and I have been crafting. Stuff is already messed up. I have to fix it. I have to go send the husband to Hobby Lobby. Yesterday, guys, before we get started in the quick news and the stuff for the weekly reset,
Yeah.
yesterday, I'm doing this not as big as I wanted, which that's probably a problem for a lot of women, but I wanted it to be slightly taller. I think it's about 5 foot. I was going for like 6 or 7.
I wish it was a little bit taller.
But I'm doing the pumpkin shrine scene in the foyer of DitchCon, and I'm doing the Headless Horseman on the wall, since I can't have like a real Headless Horseman. And I needed assistance, you know, from my husband from this, because it's this big giant 8x4, you know, wood thing, and I had to trace and...
Is decapitation frowned upon then?
Well, I think it depends. But yesterday he's like, I forget what he was doing, and he was like, it's not my fault you waited till the last minute. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, it's the week before. This is what you're supposed to do. You grind. And he's like, well, you just waited to the last minute, and now you're stressed out. Hi, we're a match made in heaven because you wait to the last minute for every fucking thing.
Oh, Jesus.
But he doesn't stress.
He can't even defend himself. You need to watch your mouth.
When you say he doesn't stress, he walks into my office when I'm on the computer at nighttime after I've worked, after I've been domestic, after I've done all of my things, and it's now me time, and all of a sudden he has a list of things he needs printed, he needs checked, he needs done, he needs looked at.
He was too busy taking out the trash that he walked past and said, oh, hey, it's full.
He doesn't take out the trash. Well,
that's my boy.
The thing is like, I was raised that the women should not take out the trash. I was raised that it's a gross job, and it's a job that should be for men. And it could be considered sexist, I suppose, but, I mean, I agree with that. I don't want to take out the garbage.
I mean, you should take yourself out with the garbage as well, so...
Fuck.
You had all this time to think, and that's the best you could do?
That was the best.
That is fucking disappointing as shit. Disappointing as shit.
Dishonor upon my family.
Like, that is just embarrassing.
That was bad.
So let's talk about the reset. Tuesday, October 30th, for those who aren't at BlizzCon, or traveling to BlizzCon, or whatever other things you have going on that week. I'm really sad because my favorite PvP brawl, which is Packed House, that's the... What is it? Is it 10? Or is it
15 versus 15?
15 versus 15.
Ah, that one's fun.
Yeah, that's my favorite. It's basically like an arena
bit.
just with 15
Those
versus
are
15.
the bitches.
I like it just because it's a shit show. Like, everybody just goes in there, and it's like...
It's a good shit show.
There's no real rhyme or reason.
enter 1 week.
I mean, if other people are smart about it, like, it's easy, but you just apply the same concepts from Battlegrounds.
Yeah, CC the 3 of the 4 healers. And yeah.
Right. I, for some reason, was thinking that it was only 10, but I don't know what other... I don't know what else I was thinking about. Maybe that was, I don't actually know. I'm going to be really honest. I'm lucky I know what day it is. The only reason I know what day it is because I have off tomorrow. It's the only reason I know what day it is.
Or because the fact that it's show day?
No.
We didn't start the fire.
The fire that burns. The world's
burning.
I just want to tell you that I hear my husband being an adult. I smell burgers, which means he busted out the foreman, and he's cooking the burgers I bought him. Because he's like, I thought you were going to make them. I bought food.
Oh, shit.
I bought food this week to enable them to cook for themselves, do for themselves, handle their own business because I'm crafting and working and all that kind of stuff. So, but I smell the burgers, which means he's making it happen. Also, the event is going to be the BFA dungeon event. So go get your extra loot. Go do your things. You're already doing them anyway, hopefully. Might as well take advantage and get what you need from, you know.
Why not?
Great. It's the good mythic week, and we're all going to be gone.
We're all going to be gone.
This is a good
Dungeon
week of
events and
events.
Pack House. And they're like, nope.
November 1st through the 3rd is Day of the Dead.
Missed that, too. Yeah.
Go be dead and have a day of it. Well, it's more like
But
3 days of the dead.
I live like that every day already, Belle.
You're right.
You're right.
But honestly, this weekly reset doesn't help a whole lot of us because we're not going to be here, so who fucking cares? Like, maybe I can randomly log in to check on guild things, but odds are
I'll just borrow T.O.'s laptop for a little bit.
It'll be like at a land center where you give him $1 to sit there for like 30 minutes and your time's up.
He's one of those lame-os you called out for playing during BlizzCon week. Well, at BlizzCon.
Are you trying to call me out or make me feel bad? I don't know what's happening. I just want to have the appropriate reaction. Like, I want to make sure I reacted correctly, and I don't know, like, which direction are we going in?
Both, because...
You can't be both.
Rude. It can totally be both.
You have to pick a struggle.
I remember 2010 Best Western. I set up my computer inside, and it wasn't a great gaming computer because 2010 it was just a pre-built from Best Buy. And setting that up in a Best Western, just so I could log in and enter that stupid scratch off code, just have that in-game shit, just to debut it before everybody else logged in.
You're old.
I was that guy.
You're old.
I am.
You're super old.
I've been sharing BlizzCon 2010 photos just because they're popping up in my feed.
I wasn't alive in 2010, so I don't know. I don't have any memory.
Oh, yeah, technically you weren't alive, yeah?
Well, I was. I just was like...
Technically speaking.
I was having babies and... Like... 2010, I don't even know. What was I might have just had Xavier, question mark.
Oh, so it's a little bit... Okay.
Yeah, I think I just had Xavier. Because I got pregnant with Xavier in 2009. I think. I don't know. But, yeah, so... Guys.
Yeah.
No?
Hot fixes. The only real one of importance, or out of the list of like 5 from the 23rd, is the Conquest Award increase for rated content. So like the first battleground that you win of the day, you get 150 conquests instead of 100. And then of course, rated battleground victories after that, you get 100 conquest versus 65. So it's a nice little bump. The first 2v2 arena win of the day gives you 35 conquest, and victories after that award you 25. And then the amount of conquest granted to the losing team in a rated battleground match has been slightly increased, though I don't have that number.
Rewarding losing.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's really important that people get some type of reward for at least going, only because, like, this doesn't really apply here because rated is different. These are typically strategic ones, and your opponent is equally strategic unless they're YOLOs, like, whatever. But I feel like because of how the length of time for battlegrounds in general for rated, like, I feel like it's important that you get a thing even if you lose, because that's a lot of time spent wasted
getting your people together, then trying to coordinate the battlegrounds, and
yeah, it's like 30-45 minutes.
It's justifiable.
Like, I think it's important. I'm trying to get comfortable so that I don't have backaches. The burgers smell really good. Really good.
You didn't put down the hot fix that happened today. Did you hear about it?
What hot fix? Oh, I have it. Hold on, I do.
Oh, well, then I'll let you go on.
I do. I took a screenshot of it while I was in the potty, because that's what you do. Literally, I took a screenshot while I was in the potty. So, emissary rewards of gold now provide 2,000 gold versus 700. And emissary rewards of azurite now give 1,600 total AP versus the 1,000.
See, now those I will actually do, because seeing the 700 gold, I'm like, why would I even waste my time?
Well,
now your emissaries will pay for those roll tokens.
Exactly.
Here's the thing about that. I think that's great. I think I do, like, there's world quests that are like 100 gold. In general, like world quests themselves. And I'm like, why am I going to go over there and do this for 100 gold? Like, I literally piss 100 gold just standing around. But also keep in mind, so this post I thought was nice, and I thought it was nice for them to, you know, we're going to talk about a little bit later some of the things that they're doing to make changes. And my favorite person in the whole wide world,
I didn't post anything.
my favorite person in the whole wide world just complains on that post, and instead of saying thanks, just guys, it's important when I'm not even gonna walk that road today. I'm not gonna walk that road today. You know why I'm not gonna walk that road today?
Angie, what did you say?
Because I don't want to have to get into a bar fight at BlizzCon because I said some shit on the show.
I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have you in the bar fight than
I'm saying, like, we'd win. Hands down, we'd win, because I'm a scrapper. I don't say things that I'm not prepared to back up in person. I'm not a keyboard warrior either. I'm not going to threaten you over the internet. I'm going to show up at your fucking front door and ring your doorbell. Like, it's not my style.
I've never done time before.
You don't have to
I'll
do
find
time.
you, ring your doorbell, and give you a gift basket.
You don't have to do time to just be about what you say you're going to be about. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm going to whoop your ass. I might lose, but guys, here's the thing. I'm not afraid of getting an ass whooping, and I'm not afraid to give one either. Like, that's the thing in life. You have to have no fear. No fear. Well, there's my life advice, because it's important that we have that life advice. Those things are, you know, important. Now, in other news,
life advice, you get ask Murky.
Let's take a moment to talk about.
I heard that too.
What did you say?
You were giving FetLife advice.
That's what you said.
Guys, Rusty Trombone knows all. Like, I am the guru of all things dark internet. I'm really not.
Well, I'm gonna interrupt the show right now just to say fuck you, Ewok, for getting the Horseman mount while we're doing the show.
Well,
Congratulations, you won.
didn't you just get something recently that was like amazing?
His virginity back.
Wait, there goes back.
Does it? 'Cause
Is
I'm
it true if you don't use it? You
asking
lose
for
it?
500 friends? What, if you don't, you lose it, you use it? What?
Well, so this is probably gonna be go in the wrong direction, but isn't it scientifically possible for the hymen to grow back?
That is absolutely not scientifically possible, because it isn't.
Okay.
It isn't like misplaced or pushed somewhere. Like,
didn't lose
it's
it.
gone. Like, there's nothing there.
And drop out.
It's like when you break the dam,
Gross.
you can't. I mean, you can repair dams. That
I
was
was about to say,
yeah.
you can
Never mind.
Yeah.
But like, it's just gone. Like, there's nothing. It's not there. Like, it's.
But you don't know how membranes work. Get out of here.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Yeah, you can't. There isn't. There is such a thing as not engaging in activity as a female, and
Basically,
it's a little less like throwing a hot dog down a hallway if you're that type of girl who, you know, playing through the Grand Canyon type, through continued abstaining from certain activities, but this, we're talking a length of time, like
so it's like
several
threading a needle.
years for this to be a thing.
Oh my lord.
But
Move
now
on.
that we've had our sexual education for the moment, I'm sure there will be another opportunity that presents itself later in equal manner. Let's talk
This is
about,
the only thing I watched the episodes back for.
because you need to remember the life advice I give.
Yes. I go back and watch them.
Educational videos.
Guys, should we do a series on real life educational videos? I feel like we should do a series. People might be interested in what we have to say.
We actually has a lot of education, but a lot of swearing as well.
Right. Well, I think things are important because
Like, how do I? Well, balancing a checkbook isn't really a thing anymore, but you know, there's that concept. What's a dividend?
I don't know.
An episode on stocks.
Seriously, what is a dividend though?
Is it socks or is it stocks? Is it bonds? Like, what's going on? Do I need a bail bond?
James Bond.
I told you it was going to be a shit show. I tweeted and said, shit show incoming. Nobody believed me. But it's okay. We take ownership of that because it's important. And I'm really getting sick of smelling these fucking burgers, guys. It's making me crazy.
Maybe if we buy enough stock in WoW, we, you know, see how we can bring that into. Never mind. Fuck it.
It was a nice thought. I'm going to give you
So,
that.
BlizzCon, Belle, what's going on?
Let's talk about the band or
Performers.
performers, musical acts, whatever, that was announced. Guys, it's a mini music festival. BlizzCon Music Festival. Now, it's important that we are allowed to have our opinions, according to Gemma Banks on Twitter, who was kind enough to parent everybody anytime somebody says anything on the
by
internet.
the way, Jim is actually watching at the moment.
Then
He
he
sent me a
knows,
message.
but he's
Hi,
kind
Jim.
enough. He's kind enough to parent on the internet, anytime somebody is getting a little crazy or somebody's a little too heated or
You're a Pokemon Go master. Okay.
whatever he feels, he's kind enough to parent on Twitter, because sometimes as adults we need to be parented, right? Like, we need that. Well, he tweeted, because I guess, like, there's a lot of things that happen on the internet, and this isn't just specific to Twitter. This is Reddit. This is forums. Everybody has been crying about the band in the sense of, why haven't we gotten an announcement? Why haven't we gotten an announcement? Now, this is nothing new. This happens every year where people are, like, freaking out about stuff, and no posts, whatever. This was cutting it kind of close, though. So Blizzard announces they're having a mini music festival of sorts, and it's... I think people's expectation of what they feel should be the closing musical act or whatever, I think that kind of gets in the way of things, right? So they have Train.
Choo-choo!
Now, keep in mind...
He's so stupid.
Keep in mind, Train isn't... You know, they're no slouches. They're not...
Yeah, they're not leaving the station.
They're... Oh, my God. They're... In my opinion, they're a great band. I like their music. In fact, there's very little of their music that I don't like. There's maybe 1 or 2 songs that I don't like.
Yeah,
but...
the performance might even be off the rails, Belle.
Oh my God, I'm not even going to deal with this entire show. I already did this lyric challenge on the Twitters with several people where we spoke only in Train lyrics. Now, the expectation here, and just so that we know... Guys, they're never going to be able to get somebody in the now on the hot list. Like, if you expect Blizzard to shell out money for, like, Halsey or G-Eazy or Chainsmokers, like...
I would have actually liked
Nickelback.
But that's an unrealistic expectation. Blizzard doesn't have that kind of money for that. So we already know going into this that it isn't going to be, like, blow your mind type
I mean,
shit.
Muse isn't really actively... on the boards and all that, but like they still sell out like NFL stadiums. But it's because I believe some of the members are actually gamers. So usually when you have that connection, it kind of helps with the.
But I'm talking like, you know, new generation type popularity is really the thing to remember here. New generation type popularity. Then they're also bringing back.
I don't. Just kidding.
They're bringing back. What's the dude from Game of Thrones? Christian
Nairn.
Yeah, they're bringing him back. He's going to be doing DJ stuff. And I think that's cool because it's happening on multiple stages. So it kind of gives people a variety. I think, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's neat. Sometimes I would think I would like to listen to a DJ. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not really a EDM.
I'm not an EDM
like
person.
In the pit.
I just like a variety. Yeah, no, I'm not like glow stick dancing, right? Like that's not my... I like to watch that kind of stuff, but that's not my jam. I'm too old for that shit, guys. Let's be real. And then the third one is going to be Lindsay Sterling, which I'm going to be super honest. I've never heard of her.
What?
What?
Yeah, I've never heard of her.
How?
But I'm going to be for sure seeing hers at least.
When do you guys ever picture me listening to a violinist? I just need to know if you two know me at all. When do you two ever picture me sitting around going, I wonder what this famous violinist is doing today?
But she makes like a shit ton of covers of like songs that we actually listen to.
She has
But
collaborations
on what
with other
planet
artists.
would you two who know me, in case you guys don't know me at home, my real name is Samantha, you two both know me very well.
You listen to Pentatonics, don't you?
On what planet? Okay, a cappella is very different than a violinist.
No, it's not.
You might as well say, oh, I know Samantha sits around and listens to cello. Get the fuck out of here. No.
I mean,
guys.
Do
you know me?
She's done collaborations. It's not just a violinist. It's...
Right, but so I've never heard of her doesn't mean she's not great. I've never heard of her. So it wasn't any, like, I didn't have a feeling one way or the other. But again, those people that know me, Tio, you know me. Do you ever imagine me sitting around listening to a violinist?
He was even surprised.
None of you know me at all, and that just disappoints me. That honestly
it's not about her being a violinist. It's about her having talent, and she's had multiple collaborations with many people.
But where would I have seen these collaborations?
Do you not
Just
YouTube?
roaming through YouTube?
No, I really don't. That's probably the issue. I don't, guys, I really don't do a lot of YouTube.
You internet?
No, I internet. I really don't.
I can't.
I don't do a lot of YouTubing. But here's the thing to understand. When it comes to things that happen, like BlizzCon related or, you know, whatever the case may be, it's okay to be disappointed. You're allowed to be disappointed. You're allowed to have those feelings. If you felt like you would have preferred another band or whatever the case may be, like, you're okay to have those feelings. It's totally normal.
Perfect example of this would be, you did not like Weird Al. You did not scream about it. You just did not go.
And I did not like, let's be clear, I am a Weird Al fan, just so we're clear.
I mean, like, to be in the seats and all that.
It is in something I would want to sit through for no other reason other than it's really hard for me to sit still that long. So I have to really love it. Like, Linkin Park was easy. I never even had to think about whether or not I was going to go. And even given now, like, I'm super glad I did. But, like, it was amazing in general. I wasn't sitting either. I was standing. But, like, to me, that was good because that is, you know, that was something that was good for me. But, yes, I didn't want to sit around for the Weird Al stuff, not because I didn't like him, but just because there's other things that I feel like I could be doing with my time.
Like,
that's not really my jam.
So.
Yeah, I really needed it, though. I was exhausted, and I'm really glad that I took that little nap because I really needed it. But it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be upset because this isn't your choice or this isn't what you wanted, and it's okay to love it and to be excited about it and for this to be your thing. Like, these kinds of things are okay. However, I think what we forget on the internet is even though we have our opinions and we can vocalize how we feel, what I've been seeing for the most part has not been just simply somebody saying an opinion about how they feel. It's been people like saying this is the worst BlizzCon ever. I've seen it all day. This is the worst BlizzCon ever. Because of the musical act is the worst BlizzCon ever? That's pretty...
That's like when people say, like, the goodie bag isn't good. The ticket isn't even worth it. Then why the hell are you going?
But, like, it's pretty heavy because I feel like sometimes when we're feeling really strongly about something, it's hard for us to have a little bit of perspective. And, guys, I'm not preaching to the choir here. Like, this is something I struggle with myself. Like, I struggle having perspective when I'm really frustrated about something. So I struggle, like, last expansion when I didn't PvP, I was really frustrated in general. And I just thought, like, this just sucks all the way around. But to me, it was my whole world. But really, when you look at the bigger picture, it was just a really small portion of things because there was a lot of stuff that I enjoyed and had fun with. So just decide either to go or not go. You going to BlizzCon isn't... You're not going, like, you don't decide to spend money to go to BlizzCon specifically to see the closing band. That is an added bonus that is either going to be your jam or it's not going to be your jam. Either way.
People are even go like, oh, I'm spending this amount of money and it's only going to be this.
Yeah,
it's like, then why?
You know, it's okay to be disappointed. And, you know, Blizzard's got a kind of a crappy job there. Like, they have to try to pick from 11 million people. They have to try to pick who to please when it comes to this music. I did think that the three different, like, they pulled from three different type of elements. I think that was really creative on their part. I don't know. It's
every niche except heavy metal, so yeah.
Well, I mean, when we buy our tickets in April and May and whatever, like, it could be Creed for all we know back then. Like, nobody's paying $200 for the band. So if they want to whine online, let them be shitty people. But, like,
I just think think it's okay to express your displeasure and to be frustrated about stuff. And I think those kinds of things are totally normal.
Yeah, we still accept you with wide open arms.
Oh man, that would have been. I was laughing too because somebody had said Creed before the bands were announced, and I was laughing because if anybody's paid attention, like, dude's off his rocker, right? Like, there have been several insane videos where he is like 100% like mid-heroin addiction breakdown on the internet.
Impressive.
Like, he's made crazy videos. It's actually really super sad.
Can you take me higher?
It's really funny that I would be the one to say, like, it's okay to have our opinions. We just should not do these things because in a previous life, like, I was very angry about stuff. And that was the reason I brought up Jim, is because Jim would always, like, parent me. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but, like, he would always be like, you're too switched on about this, or you're too focused on this or you're too focused on that. And I used to tell them, okay, I would listen to them, but I would just, in my head, I'd be like, fuck off, I'm going to do what I want to do. But there are moments now where I think when I'm being out of perspective, where I'm not looking at it as a whole, or because it's so personal for me that I'm looking at it one way or the other, and I just realized, like, yeah, that's a big deal. And when I had posted, last week I had made a post on Twitter regarding just all the word vomit from Blizzard on the internet. And Jimma commented, he commented, and I was like, do you even know what I'm even talking about? Like, you have no idea what I'm talking about. I just want to make sure I'm clear. I wasn't saying people can't have an opinion about World of Warcraft being bad. There are elements I complained about every week. We all have complaints, and I'm not saying that they're not valid, and I'm not saying to not have them. My issue, and the reason I posted that on Twitter, and the reason I've been talking about it the last 3 weeks on the show, isn't because I want to defend World of Warcraft or Blizzard, or isn't for any other reason other than it's
just a different point of view.
It's beyond being unhappy about something. It is they're insulting personally, and some of these have been personal insults towards the devs, and they've made it very, very, very personal and toxic, and it's caused all their little minions for these influencers who have a voice that people listen to, and they have a greater responsibility to lobby for change, to help make things happen, to speak for players who don't have the voice themselves, but they're literally like ripping this shit to shreds on the internet. And because of this, we've got people telling other people on the internet, if you don't believe so-and-so is right in his video, you should get cancer and die. That was really what my frustration was about. It wasn't about people having opinions on the internet and me being defensive. It was about...
Wow, that's so heavy.
Yeah, he was really like... It's on the Twitter somewhere because Taliesin and Evitel commented, and it was like this big thing, but he literally said, you guys should get cancer and die. And I'm like, so us as a community, as a people, we are responsible for this because we are the ones that inspire change, and we have the power to shape the community. And I'm not talking about influencers specifically in this regard either, because we're not anybody important, but we also have that power. Anybody that has a voice on the internet, even if you have never tweeted before, there's a voice out there in the open. It's our responsibility to keep that constructive and to keep it the culture and the tone that we want. But it's very, very toxic as of late, and it's important to have that, really. It's important to have perspective. So because of this actually wrapped into what we're going to talk about. BlizzCon announcement stuff aside, I think we don't know. If you want to go. If you don't, guys, the whole convention center's open during this moment. Yeah. During this ending ceremony, you can go and buy all the fucking ice cream you want in the convention center with no line.
Besides, all the security officers lose control, so I mean...
Like, especially when there's 5 or more of us, like, they have zero control. But seriously, go find the ice cream vendor, pitch a fucking tent, sit down, have a conversation with them, and literally chain eat ice cream until your fucking stomach explodes because that ice cream's delicious.
Is there multiple flavors? Is it just vanilla and chocolate?
No, it's got green apple. It's got
well, I don't think you understood. I think you thought I was being defensive of anybody that had anything bad to say, like I was on the defensive of World of Warcraft, and that really wasn't it at all, because the reality is the points that were being made were super valid. It isn't anything that I disagreed with. Some of it... But
to say you disagree and getting personally attacked...
Yeah, the personal attacks and the garbage that was happening as a result, yeah, it was pissing me off big time, because it was in my feed everywhere, and... Like,
and what's even better about this, not better, but kind of a small, what's the word, bit of a victory, is either the same people where if you confronted them in person, they're not going to do anything.
Right. And that's, yeah. Right. And that's guys, I could go real ghetto. I have to turn my air up because I'm sweating in some weird places.
What do you mean, down?
Yeah.
She's put it in her pants.
We got some swampy happening. So yes, opinions are okay, because we have them every episode. I get very worked up about stuff. I get very frustrated about things, and I'm not always happy with everything Blizzard does. But it's important that we don't personally attack the company that's making our games, like, be constructive about it. But to that end, here's what I've seen over this stuff that's been happening on the internet for the last few weeks. I get a survey, and I'm assuming everybody else did too, and it was a survey about Battle for Azeroth. I don't recall in the history of ever getting a survey from Blizzard in regards to things within an expansion. I don't recall getting one for Legion. I don't recall getting one for Warlords of Draenor, and I don't recall getting one for Pandaland. But we got a survey, and that survey was everything to do with World of Warcraft and what did we hate about the expansion so far? What are we loving? What about this? And these were specific questions to things that were being said on the internet. Now,
I didn't get a survey.
Yeah,
I'm sure you did. You probably should check your spam. But I got a survey. I don't know who all got them, but I did get one from I'm assuming it was like a blanket. I'll log in and tell you where I got it, when I got it. So I'm filling out this survey, and the reason I'm filling out this survey is because they genuinely want to know from a large perspective instead of, you know, X amount of people on the internet insulting and sending their minions and all these other things that we do. They are legitimately wanting to know, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So this survey, I fill it out, and, you know, I'm very specific. I'm like, I love this. This wasn't my overall favorite. I'm missing this. I was hoping to have our PvP vendors back. Like, there were some things that I said that didn't hit the mark for me. But I was honest. I gave thorough feedback. I actually spent quite a bit of time doing the survey and adding into the input boxes where you're allowed to, you know, type stuff instead of just selections. I spent a lot of time on that because I thought it was important for them to hear each perspective without just toxic dumping all over them, and just this whole culture that we've become on the internet. Well, as we've been going, I see that we've got new vendors, right? So for 8.1, we have, we knew about the Azerite vendor that was coming for Mythic Pluses. Yeah. We now have the,
a balloon vendor.
Did you say a balloon vendor?
Doubloon.
I'm trying to find it. I know I put it in my notes, but I don't know where the hell I put it. Motherfucker. It's here somewhere, but we've got, like, they have, the Island Expedition vendor where you can buy toys, pets, like you can do other things with your doubloons besides being locked into spending your doubloons on stuff that's useful, you know, the weekly rotation of the 3-4 different items that are in the vendor that are really useful, or maybe they're not useful for you to use during the Island Expeditions. I thought that was a great idea. I thought that was really smart. There was too much taking out of the vendors because if you guys remember, end of Warlords of Draenor, beginning of Legion, they talked about there being too much currency, and they were trying to, you know, wrangle it in, and they were trying to do those things. And I think we've all imagined that time when there was a little bit of too much vendor stuff. There was too many currencies to keep track of. But I think what happens is when you remove those, you realize that you miss them, because although it was a little time consuming occasionally to keep track of what currency was for what, I think those things were important. I think it was important, like the Apexis crystals in Warlords of Draenor. Like, I
still have a buttload on my
I still have a ton. Like, I don't mind keeping those currencies and maybe never using them again once we get out of the expansion. Those are the things that make an expansion memorable. Those are the things you remember about an expansion, is the currencies. You remember...
Maybe not in a good way, because I hate Apexis crystals.
Yeah, like sometimes it wasn't great, but I liked the gear that you got from Apexis crystals, especially when I wasn't getting good drops for raid. Like, there was occasions where some of that Apexis gear was really useful, and I wanted that mount too. So, which I got the mount. Gear. I don't remember when I got the mount, but those are things that I think are needed. I think it's nice that they are doing this. I don't know how this looks. It might end up being annoying for some, and it's not going to be every... Yes! Valor farming for heirlooms. Valor farming. And I
miss Valor and the Justice, yeah.
Part of missing those currencies is, I think, a lot of the reason why I wanted the PvP gear vendors back, right? They gave us, you know, they gave us Conquest. That's fantastic. That's, thanks. Thanks for the chest that we get that's RNG still, where we have no control.
You know what RNG stands for? Really not great.
Right, right. But I feel like there should be some pieces that are RNG. Maybe the higher, you know, maybe a really fantastic.
I'm okay with RNG as long as it's not the sole aspect of getting gear.
I miss the simplicity in gearing for PvP specifically, because you knew you had typically 2 choices as a class. So as Destro, I had 2 different options of shoulders, and I knew that one was going to give, yeah, like one was going to be crit focused, the other was going to be mastery haste focused, or whatever the combo ended up being. I miss the simplicity of just knowing this piece is what I want. I'm going to buy what I can with honor first, then I'm going to get the big pieces with conquest in order of importance. First, you want to get your chest piece, sometimes maybe your weapon, depending on what season we're in and how good the stats were for the weapon. So part of that, I think perhaps the good thing in all of this is Blizzard seems to be now listening on a larger level, and they're taking action a lot quicker. But this also makes me sad, because I feel like Blizzard's kind of being punked into doing it in sorts right now. I feel like Blizzard is backed into a corner because we've lit the fucking beacons and we've sharpened our pitchforks and we have insulted developers on a personal level on the internet. And
you're a bad farmer if you have to resharpen
your pitchfork. We think that's totally appropriate behavior, and it's totally okay for one individual to literally tell another individual that they should die of cancer because they don't share an opinion. That is totally normal and okay, guys. It's not bad at all to do that, and we should be letting these people do this shit on the internet instead of doing what we should do as a community, which is publicly checking these fucking retards.
Yeah, that's a terrible rebuttal.
Publicly checking this behavior and everybody taking accountability and responsibility for it, whether you want to or not, doesn't matter. It is what it is, and that's part of having the responsibility of just being along for the ride, whatever your role is. You don't need to have a role. We're not important. I don't have a problem telling people to fuck off on the internet when they're acting like assholes. Period. Plain and simple. So I feel like they're scrambling.
Fuck off, Jim. Kidding, I love you.
I feel like they're scrambling, but I like. It's kind of twofold, because I like that it's getting their wheels turning to where they're going back to roots. They're giving class abilities back that they've taken. Now they started doing that already, right? We pre-BFA, like they had already started giving back some of the abilities that they pruned. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Do you remember when they first talked about the original set of class reworks at the end of, was it Warlords of Draenor? Going into Legion was the large class reworks, right?
No, going into WoD was
No, but they did for Legion. It was a whole different. We had the like for Warlocks, it was mastering the chaotic energies was like our.
Well, Priest changes every expansion, so I'm confused on which one you're talking about.
Niche never changes. We get multi-strike, so I don't know either.
I do remember there being a huge overhaul for going into WoD, but I don't know if there's a huge one for Legion, but I remember there was some changes.
They revamped it. They went back to class fantasy. It was like, well, with the artifact weapon, it gave them the opportunity.
Not so much for Shadow, but yeah. It's okay.
It gave them the opportunity to be able to do that. Okay. So if I recall Warlords of Draenor correctly, I'm trying to think when I lost something like, I don't even remember what the spell was. It was a filler spell, and I was really angry.
Ironically enough, you lost your soul shards.
Yes, I did. And that was a big problem for me. I was, the Burning Embers thing was okay, but then they did some shit to Rain of Fire, and Rain of Fire didn't generate it, but we rolled with the punches, right? We let Blizzard go in whatever direction they felt like they wanted to take the game with their justifications, and we rolled with the punches. We continued to go. I, very frustrated. Whoever else was very frustrated about stuff. Murky's a mage, and there was like a whole time period where the mage was largely unplayable all three specs.
That's how it should be.
So, like,
wow.
I think that this has gotten the thought process to take it more seriously. I still don't agree with the behavior on the internet, but it hurts my feelings to know that Blizzard is just like scrambling. I feel like they sent a fucking survey, guys. This survey was literally all about BFA, and it was specific things that people were saying on the internet, and that bothers me.
Honestly, they should be sending surveys with every major patch release.
I agree. I do agree. I think, and that you brought me to the discussion point.
There shouldn't be a reactive survey. There should be a proactive survey. Let's send out these are the major changes. Like, what do majority of the player base think about this? Instead of people screaming on the forums, get a concise.
As you can tell, you can score right there, right in front of you.
Scantron. I don't fucking care. Whatever. Do something. Mail me something.
Hole punch.
I'll serve.
I do hope, and I agree with you. And that was what I wanted to ask. That was going to be on my discussion.
See, I'm 2 cents.
For me, I hope that this gives Blizzard new protocol to. Maybe the forums isn't always the best place to have these discussions from a larger perspective, where they're trying to gain how the mass audience feels or how the mass player base feels. We do beta things, we do alpha things, we get what we hope is good feedback. They give beta and alpha to people that might not use it or might not do feedback or might not even be active. Like, there was accounts flagged that people didn't even have an active sub. What can somebody who...
they don't even have...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, so they probably didn't even have the Battle.net launcher installed. And
right, like, what can they have an opinion about if you're... And I hate to call anybody out who's not actively playing Jim, but it doesn't matter how... It doesn't matter the level of your involvement, whether you're reading forums, you're still keeping an eye on story, you're watching videos, or you're hearing other people's opinions because they play every day. There's a large difference and gap between somebody who lives it every day and somebody who used to live it but doesn't know how it feels. You can't watch a video and accurately gauge how something feels to you unless you are feeling it and living it in the moment. That is the reason.
Out of context, this is just weird.
That is the reason I have always had a rule that you have to be actively playing World of Warcraft in order to be able to be a part of this show. Not because I want to be a fucking cunt, but because it is important when we are telling people how we feel good and bad, that it is from a real... We've actually been there, feeling it right now in the moment, not...
Straight from the horse's mouth.
A year ago. It's important that you have that. Just watching a video... And because you know a thing or two doesn't mean you really know how that feels in the moment, right? It doesn't mean you know how it feels. Because there were things that we were hyped up about that we are no longer hyped up about. So my question to you.
Oh, go. Okay. Wow.
We'll start with Rem. What do you feel could be improved from a communication standpoint from Blizzard to players? Let's remove forums out of the equation for a moment and pretend they don't exist. What do you think would be good here?
So once again, reiterating on surveys, sending out random surveys to the player base. They actually, Cash had a good idea, is having people involved with the class to talk not directly, but again, that's forums. Never mind, retract that.
But it could be forum related, but it needs to be a more hands-on approach, less months or weeks without any response from anybody of importance, right? More real-time conversation.
So in the class forums, for instance, there's people giving a lot of good information, but it gets flooded by all the other people. And I don't believe those are really checked actively, like during the work days, because there's a lot of stuff that's missed, or I don't know if they maybe do a search and say, hey, this one's good, but they could have a team of community managers that are involved with the teams that are with the shamans, with the mages, with the rogues, and being a direct line of communication with them instead of relaying information. The best idea I have is the direct contact with the actual developers in charge of who actually tune that class, who actually designed new spells or decide what spells get removed. And then surveys. Surveys are... I get graded at work by my surveys. So, I mean, I get bonuses from surveys. So why
I get bonuses for having positive feedback. If I have negative, I get a talking to. So I have a check-in with my staff, with my team.
And so the biggest thing for me is surveys. Why I'm so adamant about that is because on the forums, there's out of 100 posts, there are 10 well thought, well presented, and actually have good information and has everything laid out really well. And then you have 5 people above him that is just ranting about something that doesn't even make any sense that they saw on some video because he's trying to get views because controversy. A lot of stuff gets missed because it's flooded with all the idiots. And yes, I'm not going to say sorry.
I feel like it's hard, right? Not everybody can give constructive feedback in a public manner because...
forums are extremely hard to filter out all the bullshit. So
because there's 20 people commenting telling you to go get cancer and die because you had an opinion on a forum. Mm-hmm. And although the mods are really quick to handle that kind of stuff, like, it's pretty common. Like, there's things where I don't ever want to go there. I just want to not be a part of it because it's not constructive. But to answer a few questions before we move on to Murky's thoughts here. So the necklace is shit and repetitive, but that's whose perspective. You haven't played. You don't know if it is or it isn't because you watched a video with somebody explaining his perspective on the necklace being shit. I love the fucking necklace. I love the traits that I get from it. I love the Azurite armor. I love that I can swap pieces on a whim according to what traits are there. I love that there isn't RNG in the sense of I know in a couple of pieces I'm going to get the same trait I needed that I replaced with a lower or a higher item level piece. I love being given the choice. I love that I don't have to not equip a high item level gear because it breaks my set bonus. I fucking love it 100%.
And I mean, honestly, the traits aren't that big of a deal to whine about the necklace. Sorry, not sorry, Jim.
That's what I'm saying. Like, something like that, you have to play to know that. Although, don't get me wrong, I understand on a higher level, there probably are flaws there, right? I get there probably are flaws there. But, yeah, Plan B is solid, FYI. It's a little pricey. It's a little pricey. So, from a higher level, I don't have that perspective of these guys pushing plus 20 keys and all this other stuff that they're doing. But from the average heroic raider perspective, I'm okay. It's not shit to me. While I'm sure there's improvements, and I do agree with some of the improvements, I think that some of the things that they're doing with the changes are solid. But we're saying a blanket statement, the necklace is shit. According to who? Some guy on the internet because he told you his perspective? If you don't feel it and you're not there where you're getting the Azurite stuff, you're doing the world quest to get your Azurite, you're doing your island expeditions, just because you feel it in the moment that he's saying it, it's very different than experiencing it. You can watch a fucking porn and you could be like, man, this is great, and she's probably awesome in bed, and you could feel it every day, especially if you're a self-starter, right? It's very different than sticking your dick in it. You feel what I'm saying? So that's all I'm going to say there. And activity, you could be playing 3 times a week, once a week, or maybe you just get on and do dungeons. Maybe you just do a little bit of activity, but I feel like you need to have some type of life in game. You could even sit in your garrison in AFK. At least you're feeling
you have to make thick in the warm before you can have an official opinion.
But I would like to see Jim get in game. Like, that would tickle my fancy. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on Twitch.
I've been pushing him and Dark. Like, hey, we need a healer. Oh, hey, we need this. You need to play. Like, it's fun. Fuck off.
My husband's been
making
every comments as if he's interested. But then there's no anything. But yeah, I would love to see. BlizzCon. I'd like to see, like warm apple pie, exactly. But warm apple pie is not the same. It's a plane of existence. It's a being. But I would like to see you play,
you Jim. Abandoned us, so
Jim, I'll even PvP pet battle with you.
Whoa.
If you come back, I'll PvP pet battle with you. Real talk.
Just like the duel with David that never happened.
Listen, for the record, I don't like dueling my friends, but I don't mind PvP battling because there's no expectation there. I'm not great, and everybody knows that. But dead serious, like I totally will. Like I'll PvP battle you. Okay, Merc, give us your perspective. What do you feel like these guys? What can we do to have better real-time communication, or what can they do to avoid making costly changes or mistakes that aren't properly vetted through the beta process?
We, as players, get achievements. I don't know why you're laughing. What did I miss? Anyway, so we, as players, when we're in game and we're doing things actively, we get achievements for things. If you're raiding, you get achievements. You wear all epic gear, you get an achievement for that. Could there be a flag system, something in place that makes a survey pop up on your screen? Like, this guy's been raiding Uldir and cleared it for like 3 weeks now. Have a survey pop up from in the top right corner next to where the map goes, you know, for default UIs. Because everybody, when they ticket a GM, gets that stupid survey thing in the top right. And they want to go away. So they'll fill it out to make it go away, right? But the one, like, so if you got a guy that just zeros all the way through or fives all the way through, those get ignored. But somebody who actually thinks about the questions on these surveys will actually like go 5, 4, 3, like actually like answer questions. What are you smiling about? I'm missing stuff.
There's two things. One, I thought that was very, very smart what you just said, but I wanted you to finish, so I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm not Kanye, okay? Taylor, okay. Handle
it. Shit. But no, but I mean, like, we get achievements for things, and I mean, like, there could be like a flag system for somebody who's actively investing, putting their time into the game. You're distracting with your back cracking there. Yeah. Like, you know, like the little surveys that pop up when you're questing on the beta, where it's like, how did you feel about this quest? How about?
I mean, yeah, they added the functionality where you can, after every quest, did you ever come up with any bugs? Blah blah blah. Like
now, after every quest live, it would be really annoying.
Yeah. So I mean, not like that, but yeah, I like your idea. Like, it wouldn't be too hard for them to code in achievement pops.
This guy's played 60 hours of level 120 mage. What does this feel about his mage right now? This guy's played 200 hours. What's his feel? And get, you know, more direct answers.
That'd be creepy.
No, it would.
I gotta say that it's not that I wouldn't expect it, because Murky's very, very smart, and he thinks about stuff that I would probably never think about, because he is a tryhard, and that's not an insult before anybody feels the need to defend him, Jim. I'm not insulting him. That is his type of play, and that's great
you
for
use
him.
it in a derogatory way, in a way.
Only when I'm being a butthead.
But you type /played in game, and it shows you how long you played that character total, and at that level, that could be made into this guy's played 200 hours. Let's get some real feedback from a guy who really plays this character.
I agree, because not that I'm saying these guys on the forums aren't who they say they are, but I've seen dudes posting about some shit, and like, they don't even have achievements. They ain't even playing. What you could have fucking shit in the wind and get an achievement. Literally, you use a porta potty and you get an achievement. Like,
and on legit WoW forums, people use alts anyway, so it's hard to credit what they're actually saying or not. And some people track those people down. What's up?
Volruk, welcome to the live stream. I appreciate you being a long-time listener. Tryhard is a negative term used by underachievers. Fight me. Listen. I can't even lie. You're right, 100%. Tryhard is a thing I say because I am not. But it isn't because I couldn't be. It's just
anyone below you is bad. Everyone above you is a tryhard.
Right. Anybody that's younger than me is 12. Anybody that's older than me is old as fuck. Like, that's just, you know, that from. Remember, guys, we are the center of our own universe. You don't have to be like
I'm more like Pluto. I'm not even acknowledged.
No, but like I don't have to be the center of your universe, but I think I am, because in our world we're each the center of our own universe. But I think that's really a great idea, and I'm hoping I might steal that if you don't mind and pass that on, because I do like that idea. I think
as long as he gets royalties, I'll be your agent.
I think algorithms that say you've been doing this type of content, you are up to Mythic 17, let's flag you to give us feedback or to ask you, you know, whatever the questions are, whatever. I 100% agree. I think that's pretty fantastic.
And like I said, we know people will either 0 them out or 5 them out just to get rid of them off their screen. But the ones that, random plot through there, like those are the ones who are legitimately thinking about each question as they go through. And that's where they could find their flaws.
I agree. Hours played. What are you doing? What content is your repeat content?
Are you running around Dalaran, or are you sitting in the garrison like Belle?
Yeah, if you're sitting in your garrison, maybe you're just really busy because you're crafting and painting and fucking up your wood stains, and I got too dark a wood stain. We'll talk about that another time because that's not important. But yeah, I think those are, both of you guys really are on point with that thought process. But I do think the larger issue shouldn't be let's fix everything right this second. I think the larger underlying problem, and I'm hoping that somebody somewhere has brought this up or said we need to have a better connection with the players, because this regurgitating shit on Twitter and then all the followers going and regurgitating and telling people that they should get cancer and die, that is not constructive. And that doesn't, I'm sure these guys, man, this whole development team is probably freaking the fuck out because of all this negative shit. And look what it made Lore do. It made him act out on the forums. He was so beside himself that he was just acting out on the forums.
Well, he's going through something.
One of the things
because he's trying to be a cop, so
I love legs. Anyway, and it's kind of like disheartening that like Blizzard knows their own forums are bad, that they scour the Reddits, the MMO champions, the Wowhead forums, that there's all these windows for them to talk. Like, a centralized one would be great, but they know they just get shit on.
Cash had a good addition to that too. The Warcraft log data, pulling these guys that are on, and not just the guys that are parsing high. Like, let's pull from different elements here, because they could maybe have struggle with parsing because maybe they don't understand their class, or maybe there's changes that are happening that they're not aware of, or whatever the case may be.
Oh, like a survey, like, oh, what are you not understanding, or what's.
Yeah, like there could be. I think that those are all like fine approaches, and maybe.
I was gonna say that's not too good, because like I parse well, but at the same time I have no idea what I'm doing. So
now one could argue that that's a lot for a game company to go through. Already, this game company does more than any other game company I've ever seen, bar none.
Yeah.
Any other game company I've ever seen. They are the first and only company that I have ever seen have a physical, emotional, public reaction to things in regards to the community. And I think that that's really important. They are the most active when it comes to the Twitter, from an employee perspective individually to the company as a whole. There are times when it's kind of quiet on the forums, but that's situational. It's usually like when stuff's going on in between expansions. Maybe they're trying to push out a patch, whatever. But to me, in the experience that I've been in gaming since, like most of us, when we're 12 and 11 and we're tiny and we've grown up in different, I do feel like it's one of the most caring, even though that's not going to be a popular opinion, because everybody says Blizzard doesn't give a shit, because it's really easy to tell Blizzard doesn't give a shit.
Could say that about Bethesda, though.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that World of Warcraft or a Blizzard game related?
That's what I'm saying. You're only going, that's the only...
That isn't really I've been a gamer since I was 11 years old. Just because it's been my life for the last 5 years doesn't mean I haven't done anything since then, or doesn't mean I don't do anything now. What?
Bethesda. How do you not know Bethesda?
I don't know. You keep saying it, and I feel like it's a bomb that's going to explode.
Elder Scrolls.
Oh, I've never been on the Elder Scrolls love train. I like visual. There's a lot of visual stuff I like. I've watched a trailer or two that I fancy. There's only room in my brain for one at a time, though, when it comes to that type of game, because it's all encompassing. Like it's a life. Like you have to really commit portions of your life when new expansions and when new things come out. Yeah, like you really have to. Did you say you have Silithus?
No, I don't have Silithus. I might have.
You have syphilis?
So
no,
breaking.
But
breaking news.
I physically see these guys scrambling and breaking their backs, so I feel like it is okay to expect maybe they redesign the way that they communicate with players on a large level. I think we can agree that the beta system is broken. The alpha beta system is broken. I think we can agree that we've come into a world where these influencers are highly endorsed by Blizzard, highly endorsed. And then you go look on the fucking Twitters, and this person who just got all this fucking swag from Blizzard here is fucking calling his dog a hoe and fucking insulting his gerbil and whatever other weird Richard Gere shit's going on the internet.
I'll admit it's kind of funny when I see people when it's partly as a joke, but when they call Blizzard a small indie company, the decisions,
right? Like, there's literally a fucking Twitter for Blizzard life. It's a Twitter that's just about shit that goes on at the various Blizzard campuses across the world. Like, it's no small thing. They're a lot. But I think I would like Blizzard to take another look at the way that they approach the community.
Yeah, they don't need to do more work. They just need to improve the way they can communicate
and I think that they should be
get information.
I think that they should be taking the word less from influencers and more from the people that are actually in the trenches playing. Yeah. Not the people that are getting on the fucking computer and entertaining for the crowd because they want to make their money or they want to have subs or whatever it is that they're trying to do. I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. That's their business. You handle it. But I think Blizzard's priorities have been fucked up for a really long time. I've watched them pander and pander and pander to the famous on the internet because they didn't want them to badmouth their game. And I've watched them, instead of taking control and being like, yo, I fucking made you, I can fucking break you. Easy money. I would like to see Blizzard care more about the guy that isn't in the World First Guild, but he's in the...
Well, I mean, their opinions still matter, but they don't need to put them on top of everybody else. Because, I mean, in terms of hours played over the years, I bet Murky and I have more hours than some people in Method.
And I don't want them to just take opinions from people that are doing high-level content. I want them to take opinions from people that are they got 4 kids and a dog, and maybe the house is on fire, and maybe they're a single parent, or, pull from all avenues. They seem to just find one and make that their focus for the expansion or for the patch, and they're forgetting that there's many moving parts along this.
I just want to say the Horde have their top 200 and Alliance are working their way up to the top 200, but there's 100 guilds that all killed Mythic Ahun and didn't have an Azure gear problem. Is Azure gear really that big a problem?
And that was, you brought up my next point, Murky. It's like you and I and Rem this day are just in the brain. I do agree. This is why when people are like, the Azurite system's so broken I can't even play. Is it though? Because people manage to get their mythic clears and Blizzard
I think it's a mental block. I'm not saying they're dumb, but I mean they have this still have the perspective of tier sets and stuff, so they think they're handicapped, but they're not.
No, it's called poisoning. They're just bad. It's called poisoning the well.
Mm-hmm.
When you speak something so much, the people around you will start to believe that to be true. There's no choice there. It's like a subliminal message.
They're fucking with me.
If a person is always negative about someone in your brain, you will at some point begin to dislike them. And I've been the victim of that. I've done it. I've disliked somebody because somebody else kept constantly complaining about a said person, and then it just one day I was like, can you believe the way this bitch is eating chips? Like, who is she to be eating chips this way? Like, then everything irritates you. But it's a connection that fires between people, and you don't even realize that it's happening, which is why it's important that influencers are responsible. Not all of them are going to be irresponsible. Sometimes I like watching somebody lose their shit on Twitch. Sometimes it's funny as fuck.
It's one thing to be entertaining, but if you're going to entertain and not educate but inform people, be constructive with it. Don't just, this is bullshit.
This is our garden.
Life's a garden.
I just want to say that mass of people are happy that 8.1 Azurite vendors are coming. They're excited for that. 8.1 is going to happen. They're going to be angry at the way that generation for that currency is going to be. It's going to be another war on Twitter, and
God forbid you have to work for your shit.
I know, right? Like, it's going to be another thing. And
that's you mean Blizzard isn't just going to give me all this Azurite armor? I have to
work fucking shit. Yeah.
Someone was saying, because we don't even know how much we get per whatever, and like, oh, it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks. If someone's like, it's going to take that long to get the gear I want, it used to take longer. What the fuck?
It takes 4 to 6 weeks sometimes when you would cap Conquest to get your large piece, right? Sometimes,
it take a couple months to get a fucking tier bonus, like.
Yeah.
bad RNG happens, good RNG happens, and I don't want RNG.
Sometimes, guys, you have to have a little faith. I say that all the time. I
say it a little too much. You're turning into a Mormon.
No, it's because in Warlords of Draenor, I was blind faith all the way. I was 100% blind faith, and I only stuck it out, honestly, because more than one person listened to us, or more than one person watched us. I only stuck it out because I thought, fuck, I can't come on here and preach to people to have faith that eventually Blizzard will fix it, or, you know, that you have to sometimes push it in a positive direction if I'm not willing to do it myself. Like, there were times where I had to force myself to log in, guys. That's not happy feeling for me at all. That hurts me to have to be that guy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure anyone that's been playing it as long as we have has hit that point at some point.
I think there should be a nice balance between some stuff that's hard to get and you have to work for it, and some stuff that is a little bit on the easier side if it's nothing that's like super amazing. I think the vendors and the addition of making currency, different currency besides gold, important. I think that that's great. I think the gold editions are awesome. It scares me slightly because it does cause a little bit of inflation when it comes to the value of gold.
Well, I mean, you can't repeatedly do emissaries, though. So, I mean, it's kind of have its own little block in there. And you can't have the same reward back to back to back to back. So,
with all things, they got to monitor that, because that too is a slippery slope of getting them into a situation where they've gotten an expectation there.
But I mean, the economy is already inflated. That's why the fucking Bronto is 5 million, because it's inflated. So
no, it's 5 million because Blizzard doesn't want you to have it.
That's what I'm saying. It's as opposed to the Yak being what,
100K, but
yeah, so a couple 100K or something other.
I remember when I couldn't get a Yak, and I was like saving every copper and silver.
Like a douche in the middle.
I remember. Well, Cash, there isn't much you don't have. You're worse than Murky. You're way over.
Except a penis.
What?
What?
Did you just say they touched penises?
No.
Okay. So
what did you say?
I want to end this little like section with. Did we talk about Holinka last week?
No.
We didn't, right?
What happened with the Holinka? I thought he was on a new project.
You're so dumb. Seriously, did we talk about it last week? I don't remember last week's show.
Yeah, he's designing a new character in Overwatch.
Guys, for reals, did we talk about Holinka last week?
We did not.
We didn't, right?
I don't believe so.
Anybody that's watching, do you guys remember?
The turtles made it to the water.
How many people, when they start playing Classic for real, are going to be pissed off that all of these mounts and all of these quality of life improvements don't fucking exist?
Running till you're like level 60. Yeah.
I am so excited. What do you mean you can't queue for a dungeon? What do you mean I have to, like... Do you remember...
What do you mean a raid group for Hogger?
Do you remember, like, back in the beginning of time... As a warlock, I'm like level 5. I got a fucking stick and I'm stabbing animals in Red Ridge Mountains. Like, I'm literally, I wasn't 5, I might have been like 15. But I'm literally stabbing. You're stabbing fucking animals in Red Ridge because you have to level your weapon. You have to add skill points to your weapon, and each stab is 1 skill point. Each fucking stab is 1 skill point. Sometimes I think it would be really great to go and camp where there's no internet, no technology, no Wi-Fi, and then I remember I would rather do crystal meth.
Why not both?
Every level gave you 5 skill levels that you had to go get.
Let me rephrase that. There are times when I think it's fun to camp, right? But I would never want to live in a permanent state of existence with no Wi-Fi, no technology. I would never want to go back to those ages because evolution is the very nature of human existence. And moisture is the essence of wetness.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
It's free real estate.
So we didn't talk about, right? Hold on,
I don't PvP, so I don't know.
We touched on it, but I didn't actually talk about it. So But you could PvP, though. You did PvP when we were all leveling.
Just because you have war mode enabled doesn't mean you're a PvPer.
Well, I got to tell you that after BlizzCon, if I hear rumblings...
Are we going big dickin'?
No, it's time for me to get back into it. Like, I haven't been able to just because of time, but not because I didn't want to. Because war mode was seriously fun. Like, I enjoyed the fuck out of that. But I am banking on... So, Dad Linka's back. And now the funny thing is, I think I told you guys this, that somebody busted him out from his LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure I remember saying that on the show. He put on his LinkedIn and somebody was like, tweeted to him, is this true, whatever. It was weird that Blizzard didn't officially announce it, but whatever their reasons are. Then you saw the outpouring on Twitter, and 90% of it was PvPers, and it was PvPers that I respect. Because there are PvPers that are very good and talented that I don't respect, Jamili. And, you know, there are PvPers that I respect and would listen to what they said in a serious note because I, you know, respect them. Like when Venruki talks about stuff that's bad. Even though I'm not on his level, I can understand from his perspective because who would know more than him because he lives it every day. But anyway. So, to me, he's combat designer. So he deals with PvE, PvP, all manner of combat, and class level combat. So from a class standpoint as well. That's what his job is to deal with that. I love that the entire like world was just like Dad Linka, and everybody was so excited for what that possibility meant, what that could potentially be. It could always be bad, all guys. Bad. There were things.
Ashran 2.0.
But here's the thing. That's the one fucking thing that people remember. And that's why I was mad that article that got posted, they were like, remember, he was the creator. Yeah, he was the creator of Ashran. How do you guys feel about this change? First of all, fuck you and whoever wrote that article. Secondly, it annoys me that he gets remembered for that one thing that I actually liked in the beginning. Okay, the end there, it was a shit show, right? I think we could all agree. It wasn't what we thought it was going to be. That was their fault because they chose to have the famous people do their streaming and testing because they wanted to make Ashran a thing instead of getting real feedback, whatever. But that's what he gets credit for. That's what people remember him by, the one fucking thing. And how many years that he was in charge of class.
Was he the PvP lead during Miss?
For X amount of years.
I don't remember his expansion timeline, but
we have
X amount of years.
We have resilience. We have that was removed. Then we had the PvP power, PvP defense that was removed. PvP vendors were removed during his reign. There was a lot of things that I did not agree with when he was on, and
he's a multi-strength.
I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm upset that he's on the team again, but I'm indifferent. Like I'm not. It doesn't affect me.
Well, and there's a couple things to remember. He isn't the one that's doing the development. He's the one leading the team. Yes, it starts with the leader and trickles its way down, but sometimes your people can be compelling. Sometimes your team could be so compelling in an argument that they can change your mind. I know, because I've done it to a supervisor. I've been compelling. I know what that is like to be able to change a superior's mind. And it's a tough job. I think overall he did it very well. There were things towards the end that really pissed me off, guys. And I met him on the steps in 2015. Pretty sure 2015, 16, question mark.
All I know is PvP has been better ever since he switched.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't fantastic in Legion.
It was a bore fest.
It wasn't fantastic in Legion.
I'm talking about right now.
But
it's in a good spot.
Legion, because Holinka's been gone since...
It's been about a year.
Beginning of 2017. The majority of the shit that I didn't like in Legion was changed after the fact. It wasn't on launch. So, like, overall, wasn't fantastic at all. Does anybody watch PvP? Does anybody participate in the watching of the PvP? Does anybody listen to these guys when they're talking about issues? Because the latter part of it was like the last 6 or 7, maybe 8 or 9 months of Legion. I don't know what happened. There was a ton of things and all that. But things aside, yes, I do think it's logical to assume that his time away was refreshing. It gives him another sense of purpose. It gives him fresh eyes from not the day-to-day monotony. Sometimes you get burned out, man. And he probably was just, the PvP community is like the worst to be in charge in general, because like PvPers will literally set your house on fire. Like, they're pretty serious about their stuff. So, like, yeah. It's pretty bad.
If they're going to be back at Holinka, they should try and get back Ghostcrawler, because I actually liked him.
Oh, fuck.
Well, I don't really know that that's going to happen, to be perfectly honest.
I know,
but,
he's doing too well at Riot, so...
He has returned to be our father figure, and I think that that should be commended.
I love you.
I think my true father figure is Metzen, so, yeah, not Holinka.
I don't understand what your dislike for Holinka is. You don't even live that life.
Like him.
I mean, when they got rid of the PvP...
You don't even live that life.
What do you mean I don't live that life? Go back and watch the last 200 fucking episodes. Yes, I live that life, my dude.
Talking about the past year, my dude.
Oh,
well, what life have you lived the past year, my dude?
I've been doing more PvP than you.
Going to your occasional
battleground. Watching PvP videos is...
1 year of being without RBGs and the rest of the time RBGing every single season with an actual team doesn't make you different because you go into casual PvP content. Hooray, you did a random battle.
Hooray, you haven't queued into anything.
How do you know? Because I was just PvPing 2 days ago, so how do you know?
Mommy and Daddy, please stop fighting. We've got a show to do.
How do you know?
Oh, fuck.
Because you haven't PvP'd.
How do you know? I was just in a battleground 2 days ago. What is
one
today?
Battleground?
What is today?
One battleground?
No, not one. I didn't count. So how do you know?
That's cute.
Well, when was the last time you PvP'd?
I do arena skirmishes last weekend.
Okay. When was the last time you actually PvP'd?
And then, like a ranked?
Yeah, when was the last time you actually PvP'd?
Legion?
Oh, was it that bullshit 2s where you guys were trying to be a thing? You guys were trying to be Smash Brothers?
Oh no, Jim abandoned me like he already did again for now.
Was it? Jim? Oh, he was on his monk, right?
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this.
Can you
if I
tell
could
me...
find a consistent team right now, I would be doing PvP. But there's no
Priest Mage Warlock, let's make it a thing.
I was just trying to get a basis for why you were being negative about it. If you're going to have an opinion, you should be prepared to back it up with an opinion. So I was waiting for further explanation.
At least I'm safe inside my mind.
Were you going to tell people why you had an opinion on Holinka returning or not returning?
I already said it earlier. The second he leaves, like, stuff is changing for the better in BFA. You see when he changes. PvP
well, by next week I'll have
resilience.
statistics and I'll have who is actually responsible for the changes in Legion so that I can make sure that I bring some clarity, because that's also another thing, because I fall victim to that. I've blamed certain individuals for large changes that were made that I didn't, they had nothing to do with it.
Okay, maybe we should both PvP more then.
Well, it's not even really about PvP, but don't you make mistakes as a human, Rem?
Every day.
So, if you take a break and you step away and you come back, shouldn't you be given an open mind, clarity of thought, without having them come in with a chip on their shoulder?
No.
You don't think so? So there shouldn't be forgiveness ever for when you do something fucked up in life? There shouldn't be forgiveness there?
No.
Oh, good to know. I'll make sure I take note of that after the show is over. Merc, what about you?
You're saying.
How do you feel about Holinka? What do you think this means for the future?
Well, as you know, I don't PvP very much, very well.
But
and
he also,
listening to you two
also
talk.
PvE. Just remember, he's also PvE.
Okay, well, I don't know much of his history or his involvement, but from what I've gathered from you two talking here, all this, that PvP vendors were removed from his thing, and that's the one big thing people are crying for right now. But I would imagine back then when they were removing them, they thought, hey, PvP items as a reward from queuing for shit sounds like a really good idea on paper, because everybody likes to feel rewarded, because rewards feel better than me purchasing. And it was probably a good idea at a meeting at some time for all of them, and then it played out, and it played like crap. But Blizzard, you know, until now, used to stick to their guns and be like, sorry, that's the way it is.
Right. Like
and
with
now,
reforging.
Right, like reforging would be great if it was back. We would all love it, but no, they're not going to give that back. But we should make an army and like rant about reforging on Twitter right now. We'll get that back. But so, anyways, in notes and on paper, it probably sounded good to them to get rid of the PvP vendors, and now they realized it's a mistake. And I'm sure they probably consulted with him at one point, or just look back and listen to everybody's cries anyway. But I don't know what his involvement is, so I have no real input to tell you other than that's what I picked up in conversation here between you two about PvP.
It's not even really just PvP related. I mean, I feel like we're going to see our vendors back for sure.
Oh yeah, they've already made a post, didn't they? The PvP vendors are on their way too.
No, they said they were having a discussion because they knew that it was a topic that the community was interested in.
Discussion with Alinka, who's like, "Yeah, I fucked up, guys. We got to bring them back."
And I wonder, and that was really what my point was. Is it wasn't so much of like I want to bring this guy in who made mistakes. It was he stepped away. He's been doing other things. Now that he's come back, maybe there's some perspective. But I feel like sometimes you need that old school mentality. You need that old school brain that was there for those changes, whether they were bad or they were good. Because I think it took him a whole year and a half to say I fucked up with Ashran. Sorry. Where he literally was like...
But Ashtrain was fun at first, and then that was the expansion content. It stopped. Wintergrass was fun at the start, and they've nerfed it a couple times over, but then we don't go back to it anymore. Like, there's no need to. It had its time, and it should stay in its time. It didn't need to continue with us. It was fun when it was there. Everybody who first did it a few times, it was fun. But then it gets old and repetitive. So does farming old braids for transmog. It's...
So from a combat perspective, and this isn't just PvP, this is PvE as a whole.
I mean, is he the GCD son of a bitch that I'm going to have to fight?
No, it's not even about that. It's what are you two looking for from a combat perspective on a PvE scale? Because that's your guys' like...
As a mage
plane of existence.
As a mage and everything being on the global cooldown now, it's just kind of frustrating, and I don't want to play a mage for PvP, so...
No, PvE.
Global cooldown.
PvE.
That's what he just said.
PvE.
Global cooldown.
Oh, he said PvP.
Well, for PvE, it would still be the same thing.
Well, I wouldn't want a mage either. You guys don't have much defensives. Your ice block doesn't heal you anymore, right?
Right.
Right. So from what would you guys like to see focused more on when it comes to PvE combat versus whatever else is the focus now? That's not really my cup of tea. Like
that's a loaded question now because I was only concerned thinking about PvP related.
Well, that's difficult because you want to be. One of my things is class fantasy because, for instance, with Shadow Priest, it's not even about being a Shadow Priest anymore. It's about being a Void Priest in terms of fantasy, and because that falls into combat is with your abilities. Fantasy. A lot of the community, plus me, for instance, with the Shadow Priest, we wanted less attention put on Void form, and what they've done in 8.1 is even made it even more important, like it was in Legion, where you want to sit in Void form as long as you possibly can, and then you get put out, and then your damage gets reduced. It's not like before where we were ramp up damage. We did not have the only execute was Shadow Word Pain, so we start out the fight really slow. We build ourselves up, and yeah, I mean it's like I said, Shadow Priest and Priests in general change every expansion, and it almost changes like PvP does, where every expansion something's either overhauled or something is tweaked in a major way. It just keeps things consistent, but also adding new flavor every once in a while wouldn't hurt.
I feel like they forget.
I don't
how
mind
to add
having
flavor.
buttons to click.
I feel like they don't know how to just add flavor. Like maybe they don't know how to just add hot sauce to the taco.
The hot sauce is giving you an ability back that they removed.
So, Rick brings up a good point. So, like during Legion, during Void form, like I don't have carpal tunnel yet, but literally I would get carpal tunnel doing that fucking rotation because you need to sit in Void form, or your damage is going to be complete garbage. And he said it's like beating your beast each time. It's very accurate.
And I wonder if maybe their quest for evolution.
Well, some ability to de-evolving, because, I mean, people yell pruning just because, again, that's a word that influencers have used, and it's in their brains where, oh, pruning this, pruning that. But I mean, and a small part of it, it is valid because like a lot of stuff we've lost, but we've also gained a lot. Like people complained about the new talent system, and honestly, I moved that around more than I did in Kata or Wrath. It was more cookie cutter at that time. People said, oh no, you can do hybrid. Like you can do hybrid right now too. I mean, not like at that extent, but I prefer the new talent system because I actually switch stuff around and stuff. So
I agree with that. I mean,
class fantasy with new flavor is what I would like for the combat system.
I don't know that they know how to do.
One of the things that bothers me as a mage, they gave me AI back this expansion. Yay, I make everybody in my raid group smarter. I get to feel like I'm contributing by giving everybody a buff. So it's another button I have to press. Why couldn't it just been an aura? Like auras are things the game.
Well, they tried the auras. And people complained about that though.
Because it was a button they didn't have to press.
Yeah. So one of the things was someone made a whole post. I mean, it was I liked being able to use it because running past someone, you buff them, feels good. But they made a whole post about like, oh, this isn't good because I can't buff the randoms I'm running past. Like this is a terrible decision. Which I mean, I should be able to buff the group I'm playing with, not the randoms I pass by, but that's just me, I guess. Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff they removed that they should not have removed, but...
Well, see, I feel really bad, because in the tryhard group that I raid with, we raid with like 3 or 4 mages, but there's some days where I'm the only mage, and I don't hit AI because I never have to worry about it.
And I mean, they should have just gave everyone buffs again, because I mean, what do you bring to the table to utilize for the raid? Like... Priest, Shadow Priest, you can do off healing, you can grip people out of fire, you have stamps. I mean,
it shouldn't be a blanket just because you have this buff, we need you. Like there might be something else that you're good at, or that
Warlocks have Hellstones. Summoning table, or summoning portal, I don't really consider in the middle of the raid being utilizing, but
the gate,
it's oh yeah, the gateway.
The gate's amazing, which we all know right now.
Oh, that's absolutely
can't do without it.
But you know, there's just some stuff that they should think about moving around or bringing back.
8.2, we're gonna have 3 rows of buffs again. Like
yeah, I don't mind having all those buttons. Like for instance, that's why I like playing disc at the moment so much, is because I have 9 spells that I use in my rotation. So
I like having a lot of options. They took my... What was it called? It was a filler spell, and it was great for getting my embers. I can't fucking... It was spell something, and I can't fucking remember. I was so mad when they took that. I was like, why? They were like, well, it's just an arbitrary spell that shouldn't be there. But I used it in part of my rotation. Then they took away my fucking life tap.
This is going to be before Bell's time, but Rem, do you remember Amplify Magic?
Yeah.
Do you remember Detect Magic?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad mages don't have to do that shit anymore. Yeah. That was stupid. Back in the day, you couldn't see the buffs on the enemy. You had to have a mage detect magic to see what buffs they actually had or debuffs.
Well, also, I mean, I kind of miss that stuff too. Like for instance, in whatchamacallit, on Courage, you have bosses that you had to have a specific class to do it. Like the blob dude had to be.
Oh yeah, the frost mages and shamans and.
So, I mean, not like that extent where you can't clear it if you don't have this, but why not have systems in place where the bosses have mechanics that favor some classes?
Because they don't know where to draw the line. Because then we end up with raids like with Molten Core where fire mages were just fucking useless because that was all immune.
It comes back to
they don't know where to stop.
They don't have a middle game. They're either too much or too little, so...
But that's what makes it fun.
Maybe that's what they need. That's my argument now. They need to finally make themselves have a good middle ground.
And I think they're doing that right now because
we'll never see it. So let's see how long.
We'll think.
That's what I was trying to get out of you, Rem, and I tried to appeal to your like angry side, and all you did is went silent. I was trying to like pull it out of you because I didn't want it to just be, well, because he screwed this up, I don't want him back. Like I was trying to. I wanted dialogue and not just me talking. I was trying to get you to talk about it. So, in case
like talking.
It took raid experience to get there,
no,
so you're welcome.
But at least I now, like, at least I have learned the different ways I have to ask questions to get him to, because I tried one way and it didn't work. So it's like,
I still don't care for him. I guess it's not like I don't like him. I'm just indifferent to him. Like, it doesn't have.
And that's important, because if you don't have an opinion, or maybe you didn't like them, it's good to focus on what would we like to see. What would make me change my mind about you to like you, or to follow or believe. Like, not everybody's like me where I just have blind faith. Like, I was in such a good mood that day that I thought all of my fucking PvP stuff is going to be solved. It might not be right now, but here's somebody who's been there and who knows the struggle and who's probably had a hand in some of the struggle, right?
He's made his changes. We've played it out. We've got the feedback. It's not so great. They're not just going to mirror his changes and do it again and be like, here's the second try, boys. We got it. No, they're going to take that feedback and help dilute that.
By the way, Holinka started in Miss leading the PvP team.
Well, I just want you to know that PvP was amazing in Miss the Pandaria.
No, I'll give you that one.
It was. I did Miss PvP then, and it was fun.
And maybe that's our hang up. Maybe us as players have hang-ups where we have moments of time that it was like the glory days. And maybe sometimes we forget to see the beauty of things, or maybe the positive changes that we didn't know were positive or whatever. Maybe we forget that because we're stuck in that moment in time.
I mean, maybe, but I've had good, at least a solid, like, good, what's the word? I haven't had a expansion where it was all bad. Like, I've always had golden days in every expansion, even Cataclysm. I was a fan of Cataclysm until they nerfed it after the first patch.
Hold on, we got a donkey roll for Ozzy.
Oh shit.
Ozzy, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the support. Thank you for joining Style Boys crew.
So I just want to say we're human. Oh wait,
this is gonna be on the DitchCon playlist.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Shit, we're gonna be on stage.
You're gonna have to give me drinks if I'm gonna drink.
Don't worry, I got you. I got a whole bottle of Tito's with your name on it.
I just want to say we're all human and we all reminisce about times that we thought were fun and better, and that's how fucking classic is that one thing. We think we want it, and some people will have fun with it, but at the end of the day, we're not gonna want it. But we'll try.
Yeah,
real talk, if I can go and play and get the tiger to drop out of ZG and it somehow converts to my live account, I'm for it. If it doesn't do that, then I don't give a shit about it.
So, yes, Julio/KO/
fucking slave
daddy. That's why I said I don't know. Anyways, yes, I even liked WoD. I took a break because I was in the middle of moving states, but you know, I played through WoD.
Oh, did you?
That was my try-hard time.
Oh, so Ozzy did it for the dance and didn't even get a proper dance.
I thought you had, like, the gift thing.
No, because you need to do yours. We're going to do it at BlizzCon.
Okay.
We're going to make it happen at BlizzCon.
Ka!
I'm going to get a really good video of them two doing it. Well, that sounded weird. Let me try that again.
All the fan art on Twitter tonight.
Yeah, though somebody somewhere, that would be a fetish, I'm sure. But I'm going to make sure that we do that appropriately.
Why did Murky post these?
BlizzCon 2018.
It's, you know, sometimes there's a reason. Some of the shit I see on the internet, I just have... How do I pre-order that?
If you want to pre-order that, you can send that to remedies@ponecast.tv. It'll be about $20.
$20 is $20, guys. So before we move into some story, because I actually need some story, it's been, you know, I need some information.
Wait, we're still gonna talk about. Okay.
Yeah, we have enough time for story and candy knots. Then we can wrap it up. But I wanted to talk to you guys about what we're going to do next week. So we have a couple of different options that we could probably do. There isn't going to be a show, obviously, because Thursday is BlizzCon, right? But I'm trying to feel out how we should go about that. And I wanted to not just get your guys' opinion, but those listening and watching. maybe send emails, comment on the show. Like, there's a couple different things I was thinking about. Like, maybe we could do, you know, something on Sunday before we head out, or maybe Saturday night, or
what? Do like a blog thing?
No,
like a blog,
like
vlog.
Like we could do. I don't know. Maybe we could just do something Monday. I was thinking maybe we just do a show on Monday.
Well, I will be more active in terms of social media this year, whereas last year I said, "Hey, we're here," and then nothing else.
I'm thinking maybe we could do the show Monday, so that we could have like a show that goes out Monday, and then, you know, I don't know. That's up to you guys. Doesn't matter. Or we could make people wait another week. Let me know your thoughts. And the audience, let me know your thoughts. Also,
I mean,
we are going to be doing, I'll be doing random live streams from my phone to Twitch.
What, Periscope?
No, to Twitch. So, yeah, make sure you guys, you know, stock that, because I'll be doing, last year I did a lot of live videos on Facebook, and although I enjoyed doing that for like my husband's sake and stuff like that, I can do the same thing on Twitch. And people that aren't not my Facebook friends can see it. And I don't know, Twitter Periscope is AIDS, so Twitch seems like the perfect avenue. And yeah, I'm actually going to be doing some test live streaming, I think this weekend from the phone. Maybe I'm going to do some finishing touches on decorations, and you guys could watch that live or something weird. But yeah, they're
just going to hear fucks and shits.
I think last minute predictions would be good.
Fuck, this sucks!
Oh my God.
Just put the dog on the camera.
Remember that DitchCon's going to be live streamed, and we are going to stream the setup as well. I think well, not setup, but I don't know. I might give sub-onlys special pre-show access. Maybe Twitch sub-onlys will get a special sub-only pre-show stream thing. Can we do that? I don't know if affiliates are allowed to do that. I don't know.
I don't know.
We're allowed to do sub-only streams. I'm not sure. We might not have that ability.
So.
Huh?
I don't believe so.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
We're not real people yet.
Maybe I could, I don't know.
I'm a real boy.
You guys, we'll have to work it out. But so, let's talk about a little bit of story, and then we'll do our, you know what, maybe we'll not do Can You Nots this week, or should we? Do you guys want to do Can You Nots still?
Fuck, if I know. I don't
have a good
one,
so it doesn't matter to me.
I don't care. I mean, mine just contradicts yours.
Go for it. It'll be hilarious.
Well, me and Rem already had a fight because I was trying to just get him to talk more besides just saying a sentence and then no fucking...
It's been a long week.
Subs get exclusively and verbally abused by me. I would do that for free. In fact, you just have to be my friend, and I will verbally abuse you all day long. Although, recently, even when it's really bad, I say, I don't want you to feel like you're not supported. And I even say, like, I don't want you to feel like you're not supported. Or I don't want you to feel like I don't believe in you, even if I hate it. Whatever the thing is you're doing, even if I hate it.
She tells me she hates me hourly.
But I also tell him, like, I don't want you to feel like you're not supported. So you're help me. Okay. No, it's not when you unfollow me on Twitter. It's when you post something on your Twitter and then you unfollow, and then I connect the dots and I'm like, this motherfucker's talking about me on Twitter, because I will call you out and be like, yo, why are you unfollowing me and why are you posting some bullshit on your Twitter? Because that's just how I roll. I feel like we should be direct, to the point. Let's not beef. Okay. Rem?
Yes.
Tell us more about Holinka.
Oh dear, it's old dear. That is just so bad it's good.
You're just jealous.
I want you to feel supported, and I support you.
Oh my God.
I don't approve your condescending.
No, it's not. See, even when I try to be nice, everybody thinks I'm being a dick.
That's like, good job, yeah.
I just want you to feel like you're...
Here's a trophy. You tried.
Oh.
So, old dear, we continue on that little shit show. So, Fetid would be the next on my list because he's like the redheaded stepchild of creations. Sorry, not sorry, Dark. I love you. He is the ugly Cinderella story, except he doesn't clean and doesn't have ugly sisters. It's just, yeah.
What if you don't like have any relationships with your sisters? Does that count as Cinderella?
Well, I don't think she had relationships to her sisters. It was
she had to wait on them.
And she wasn't it? Doesn't matter. So he is an experiment gone wrong. They were experimenting with old gods and Loa and ended up making this monstrosity. It's just haunting mother. Not your mother, the mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
She made...
What?
Oh, sorry, go on.
I'm so confused.
How did she experiment? What did she do?
She combined the Loas with powers and voodoo.
Is that really what she did? Are you trying to avoid a spoiler?
No, it's not a spoiler. It's just they were doing experiments on the Loas around Nazmir, and it created this monstrosity called Fetid Devourer.
I thought Loas were like spirit animals, not actual animals.
No, they're animals just with great power. Like Malorn, the stag, is.
Oh yeah, you're right.
A wild god / Loa. Wild gods are just Loas.
I too thought Loa was like the dead.
No, I mean Bonsomdi is is like an anomaly because he is
actually dead,
but he's actually dead. So I'm pretty sure we're going to learn about that in 8.1 because he talks about.
Would you say he's mostly dead?
He's only just got to give him a pill coated with chocolate.
Guys, I have a question about this ruler before we continue. And
it is 12 inches.
But why is there a space before the 0 and a space after the 12? Do I include that in my measurements? And if not, why the fuck is it on the ruler?
Okay, I have no idea, but I'm just gonna spitball and say that when they're making them, they're cutting them, they make it that way so it doesn't make the measurements imperfect.
I like the way you think. You're probably right. Okay.
Oh, don't include the gap.
Don't include the gap. Okay.
No side gap.
It feels like it should be included, but then I'm like, okay, maybe it shouldn't be included. Okay, so the Loa are not spirits, because I thought they were like dead spirits that were like, let's pretend they're like angels in heaven.
They could potentially become spirits because they have so much power that they can, like, what's his name?
Phase shift, like Razan, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I always thought they were just all spirit.
I thought they were all dead.
But because he is a husk, I don't believe that his soul has any pull on anything. But like Bronzomni, like I said, he's just an anomaly because very, 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 very few trolls have the power to
ascend to
retain their consciousness in the afterlife. Yeah, so Fetid is almost, I feel like, not only a callback, but kind of like paying an homage to Maloriak, if I knew how to English. He is the Blackwing Descent, and he is Nefarian's little lackey, and he created Chimerion, the
ugly
Hydra that's combined with blood. It's all bad, but they're all ugly. And small fact, really quick, while on that, just because I love the movie, in the Chimerion fight, you save Finkel Einhorn. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Wait, when? Where?
In Blackwing Descent.
Cataclysm Raid.
I don't have any memory of that.
Because remember you didn't play Keta.
Yeah, but I've been forced into the older content against my will.
Well, it's Blackwing Descent with Nefarian and the people.
Keep in mind, I always get lost in.
That's true. But yeah, no, there is a guy in a cage that you save. His name is Finkel Einhorn.
Interesting.
It's Titan to make the robot work.
So, Fetid is an experiment.
Yes, he was the experiments that the Titans or the Titan Watchers were experimenting on the Loa around, and because they had access to Cahoon and all that stuff. Which is the next one. Because Vectus isn't an experiment. He is a mistake. Ha.
Oh, that's sad to call him a mistake.
Ironically enough, this boss only flows once a month because
you're so stupid. I can't believe he did the joke. I was sitting there thinking he wasn't gonna do the joke, and he did the joke.
Vectis is essentially a virus that was in a test tube. It's built.
Is that a reference to menstruation?
Yeah.
She finally got it. She understood the joke, but I didn't think it was gonna do it.
Ow! God.
A virus that spilled.
Let's talk about when your balls drop, because that sounds fun too. Well, can you tell me when that happens, though, both of you? Because we should have that conversation when you guys are officially adults.
She became a real big during this segment.
Okay, I swear to God, I'm focused.
I'm done. I apologize.
Are you, though?
Hilarious. No, I'm not.
Yes,
so he's, again, essentially a virus that somehow spills into the blood of Cahoon, and he manifests himself into a bad guy, essentially. And so, long story short about Vectis, he's essentially AIDS.
Guys with AIDS have feelings, too.
So he's like a blood elemental in a sense, which would technically be a water elemental. Makes you think.
Because it's moist? Is that your thought process there?
Yes. Yes, Vectis is very moist.
I was wondering if this was a play on the old ZG like blood disease, but I can't remember the name of it now. But you know the one that like wiped the
wasn't it just
for a while?
Blood plague?
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder if that's what his
didn't it kill a
story...
bunch of people though?
Oh yeah, it made it outside the raid and like it locked some servers out because it just.
Well, I mean, there were some things that were able to do that. Like, what fight was it? I don't remember what we're doing. I think it was Cahoon, and I had a debuff on me. No, it was some dungeon, and I had a debuff on me that was taking my health away. It was Cahoon, and I popped into the harbor. I'm like, why is my health dropping? And I eventually ended up having to kill myself. Well, ended up letting the debuff kill me. But
blood, yeah.
But it doesn't spread, so it wasn't fun.
I was wondering if he was like homage to that blood plague from ZG.
I mean, maybe because
the blood trolls and blood debuffs, yeah.
But
oh yeah, he's a living AIDS. Got it.
Pretty much.
So I don't particularly like that fight, but I do appreciate all the manners you have to work together. Like, I like that some classes should be the favorited for doing the orb running, and I like that there has to be a strategy there, that it isn't just a jump in and kill, right?
What I was saying earlier, yeah.
Well, no, I was just agreeing.
But more emphasis on it, because you mean having a warlock and a mage be better than. Well, that's also because you guys are good players. You're not going to hear that again, but yeah.
Oh.
Okay, and
wait, is that the second time you've given me a compliment, and it was even on my warlock?
I'm trying to be a better person, Belle.
I think we can agree, though, like, I'm not the one that I would trust with things in raid, but I got them.
I'll be honest, I was
lock.
surprised that you got it down.
It's very scary, but yeah, when you get it, you fucking get it.
And that's always the thing about me, is it doesn't matter how complicated or how easy it is. Once it is something that is here, I will legit never fucking forget it, and it will be like second nature. But sometimes it's how somebody explains it to me that can make or break whether or not I understand it quickly or easily or whatever the case may be. So I just got another compliment, guys. I don't know what to do. I feel so empowered. Like, let's do a women's lib conference, and I will man-hate.
I'm gonna have to roll this back because she's going to her head.
Yeah, could you please shut up?
You gotta rein
We're filming a show here.
You gotta rein
Wait,
me in.
what?
Are we doing a show? Is that what's happening here, guys?
Shit.
I might be retarded. I think we probably knew and expected.
You can't say that on the show. We're gonna have to cut that.
Why? Is it illegal?
No, actually. Oh, Blood Boss, got it.
Got it. Okay.
So, really quick, Zekbaz. He is labeled as a Herald of Nazoth, but I think he's confused because it feels a lot like it's a Yogg-Saron fight. but time will tell.
But there's also the I-beam from that other boss that I can't pronounce.
Cthulhu?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that room is them collecting data on all the old gods because, like, there is a mix of all of them, except Nazoth, because, well, no, because he has the messenger in there.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no your Sarge, I noticed. Like, in terms of lately, there's no...
Your Sarge clearly never made it to Nazmir to visit.
That's true.
Just stayed in Pandaria.
Well, Yasarj wasn't one of my favorites anyway, because his whispers...
Why, because he has 7 heads?
Oh, the heart whispers in Siege of Orgrimmar still
That's
haunts my
all
dreams.
old gods, though.
I know, but the one... It made me feel bad about myself. He said things like, I'm going to eat your children. Like, I'm sure that's not what he said, but it felt like that's what he said.
Made the one true horde happen.
Yeah, it felt like he was gonna, like, I don't know. Guys, I'm struggling drawing.
Oh, God.
Trying to...
Garrosh did nothing wrong. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was innocent. Totally innocent. Guys.
Well, I mean, he used to be a good guy, and then went to his head.
Let's talk about...
Spell.
What? Hey! Guys, I've calmed down over the years. Look at me being the voice...
Distracted.
No, I'm being the voice of...
Good
change.
Gamers.
Yeah, I'm being the voice of change. I'm not just only sour. Sometimes I'm sweet. I feel like you guys just don't understand me.
Would you like a cookie?
No, but I got chips in my drawer. So,
well, good thing we're almost done.
Yeah, we are pretty much almost done. But I want to end the show on a can you not, and to...
Can I go first?
No, you can't go first. Is yours a rebuttal to mine? Hold on, I didn't even look. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do my... That's actually really funny. I'm gonna do my...
You have a mark on your face from the ruler.
Where? Oh, it's from the actual... What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Right here.
It's gone.
You put the... No, it's still right there.
Oh, no, it's from the mark.
I know, it's the pencil marking, but it was on the ruler and it was right there.
This is what happens when you do crafts. Yesterday I had fucking...
We're going to try the quarter trick.
Quality! Bravo! Great show!
Anybody want me to stream my craft extravaganza tomorrow and this weekend?
I'd watch.
I have off tomorrow, by the way, so I might, there's, the kids are, well, they'll be home early, but I might come in here and stream some
I'm hearing a lot of mites.
I'm just saying, I don't know if anybody's interested or anybody gives a fuck about any of that, but crafting is a lot of shits, fucks, and cunts. When I'm crafting.
That's what I was saying. When you said you might stream it, I'm like, all they're gonna hear is shits and fucks.
So it might be bad, but then again, it might be entertaining. You guys might enjoy listening to some music and watching me throw myself down a fucking hallway. Okay, well, just let me know if you guys want me to. If you want me to stream, just tell me and I'll. It's nothing.
We watch her for like 14 hours a day on Zoom, and it's always fucking hilarious. It's a good show.
So the long and short of it is there are times when I don't remember. Because when I reboot Bertha, which I don't turn Bertha off, but I reboot her before I get on. When I reboot Bertha and stuff loads up, sometimes it auto does things. And I don't realize that that's the case. Then I will get a fucking Snapchat of me fucking picking my nose. Or a Snapchat of me making an awkward face. Or
we use the filters on Snapchat.
Like, sometimes it's not cool because I don't know. I'm not aware of my surroundings. And we're talking hours, guys.
Literally forever.
Because I'm very habitual. I get on and there's things that I do before I'm ready to game or whatever. And especially like this last week, there was probably 6 or 7 hours where they watched me do shit and I had no fucking idea. It's a good thing I wasn't doing anything weird, right? Because that would be...
Weird.
The computer's a sacred place. You don't do anything weird.
That would be unfortunate. All right, let's do the Can You Nots. I'll stream tomorrow randomly. Just some random stuff. Maybe.
Mites?
Yeah, I'll probably stream.
I'm hearing a lot of mites.
I don't have work.
Where's that can-do attitude?
I gotta go to Hobby Lobby in the morning because I'm redoing these signs. So
live stream it.
The wood is too dark. It's not the color that I wanted.
Racist.
So I'm going to go get different type of wood. I think my problem is the type of wood that I used was really, really light. And I think it literally just absorbed all that. And I'm going to get some new wood stain. I want to do the signs because, you know, I'm doing danger signs. So I want to do them right.
Have you tried watering down the stain by chance?
Well, so the stain looks kind of dark anyway. But I'm thinking I'm going to just go to Hobby Lobby and just I was looking pre-show. I know exactly what I want, and I was gonna get them the first time, but I thought I'm being extra getting the giant version and making, you know, like waist, but I want waist size ones because I could just do 2 instead of doing 4 small ones. There was an idea that I had there, and you know.
Murky's mom is racist.
Is she?
Whitewash it.
So yeah, I know my daughter was like, well, Mom, why didn't you do this? Well, I don't know because you were supposed to help me, but you know, but we got had the Sourceman
was supposed to help.
That had the Sourceman's cut out. I just have to spray paint it. So I am going to spray paint it tomorrow, and then I need to do a clear coat, and then I can attach the lights to the back of it, but it's completely done. And then this right here, as you see, is my candy bucket in progress. I have to do some of the legwork on that tonight. Anyway, yeah, I'll stream tomorrow because it's nothing for me to randomly stream random crafting if anybody gives a shit. If you don't care, then just tell me to shut it off. Not that big of a deal. Okay. Let's get the show on the road because we got things to do. My Can You Not is a very personal Can You Not. Now, you guys know I'm harping about how we need to make this community better, right? At the same time, I'm insulting people in the community on my show. One might call me a hypocrite. You're probably motherfucking right, but sometimes I just don't like you, right? I just don't like you. But it's not like I tell people to eat Tide Pods on Twitter, right? Like, I'm not saying these things. I'm not perpetuating hate publicly, I mean, right? Like, I'm not doing those things. But, guys, when you're in a dungeon run, and especially when you're leveling a new, you know, you just maxed, or maybe you're in there for purpose, whatever the case may be, one of my biggest complaints is how people are in randoms, right? And how people are fucking chodes. And one of the things that annoys me, this is actually a 2-parter, and I just realized it was a 2-parter. If someone's not doing something they're supposed to do in a dungeon, say something to them. Don't be a fucking dick. And don't do this. Say something like, hey, have you done this dungeon before? Hey, do you know what to do? That goes a long way, guys. A long way. Maybe they don't answer, but at least you ask the question. Sometimes people don't know, and sometimes people don't feel comfortable speaking up because they don't want to hear get good, learn to dungeon. All the fucking things morons say because they're mindless. So that's my first part. Second part of this Can You Not. When you are realizing that people in the dungeon don't know what they're doing, can you not say, hey, mage, hey, warlock, can you use their fucking name that I know you can see and I know you read? Don't put in fucking chat, hey, mage, come over here. Fuck you, punk, I have a name. Use it. That's like me being like, yo, white boy.
People say that to me all the time. What are you talking about?
I fucking hate it when people say that. So Rem unknowingly triggered a huge reaction because that's happened where people are like, hey, warlock, can I get cookies? Hey, how about you take your finger and stick it up your asshole? How about that? Because
you might enjoy that. You don't know it's like.
I am not just a warlock. I am also Belle. I can be both, guys. People have identities. Can you fucking not? Rem, can you? Him and I are together in a run. And I'm like, listen, when we are together, you are an extension of me. And I'm going to need you to not act this way in dungeons. Like, can you please use his name and not call him mage?
I mean, I can't even lie. His name wasn't hard to type out. So I have no defense. It was just I was in a bad mood that day. He caught me on a bad day.
Now, before he rebuttals, because he's got a good rebuttal. when I said this, I think he realized, okay, maybe I'm being kind of a dick. Because then he said, who here doesn't know this fight? And everybody was like, well, we've never been in here. And he was like, okay, then the Rem I know, where he goes into daddy mode, and he says, okay, this, and this, that's the Rem that I know. Daddy mode. Not, hey, mage.
Okay, so I will openly admit, I'm not, like, I will say, hey, I mean, if their name's difficult or whatever, but I'm usually just call them by their class, because I'm on that class for a reason, okay? That's my signifier, okay? But if people are upfront about not knowing the dungeon, or they say, hey, I don't know where to go, if they are upfront about it in chat, then yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure you get to this dungeon alive. But if you're not gonna say anything and you're just gonna twiddle your fucking thumbs, I'm not gonna go out of my way for you.
I want you to remember a moment when you had social anxiety and couldn't even speak to more than one person at a time, because I know you had it. And I want you to remember what that feels like. And I want you to remember that it takes literally 20 seconds for you to step yourself outside of your selfishness and say, hey, you're kind of not doing what you're supposed to do. Do you know what you're doing? Instead of immediately making the assumption that so-and-so doesn't know.
Well, I mean, I have social anxiety in person,
Right.
but in the game, I've never had that issue. So
But other people have that issue in game and don't have it in person. Do you see what I'm saying?
I know, but I mean, again,
making us
if you
better.
just all you have to do is type something in chat. All they're gonna, if you get a bad response, that's the end of it. I mean.
Well, and that there's a two-way street there, because there have been times when we've tried to help people in a run and the response we got was not nice. PvP is a big part of that. Sometimes when you're trying to direct in Battlegrounds, people are like, I do what I want. So, what was your rebuttal, Rem? I want you to know that he did immediately go into daddy mode after I said that. And, like, once the person said, like, they all said they didn't know, like, immediate daddy mode, and we completed the dungeon.
Yeah, no, so if I'm in a random dungeon, can you not call me by my name? Don't do that. I'm on my priest for a reason. Okay? I had nothing, so it was just stupid.
So you're saying you would prefer I call you, hey, priest, instead of Rem? I could do that.
If there's not multiple priests. But no, like, people usually just say Rem, because, I mean, I usually always have Rem in my name, so. No, just call me priest, okay?
Except when it was Love Altar Boys. That's probably not going to give us any fans.
That's a few months.
We're probably not going to get any fans there, but we don't really want fans anyway, right? Because fans are for summer. So
God damn it, Eric.
What'd he say? Yeah, he does. Rem's daughter does put him in natural daddy mode. But the reason I wanted to say that, Can You Not, is because we do forget. And sometimes I do it too, where, like, I'm like, this fucking jackass has the blueberry out in a dungeon and shouldn't. And I sometimes forget that it might not just be because they're dumb. It might be because they don't know any better. And maybe we could all stand to take an extra 2 minutes to be better. Because it does start with one person and trickles down. Some people you can't help. Some people are just assholes and runs. It just is what it is. But anyway, yeah, my Can You Not.
Yeah, but it's so much easier to type "Hey War" instead of "Hey Zazagariji."
You don't even have to say the whole name. You could just do the first couple of letters.
What if there's two guys that start with Zazagariji?
Well, I'm going to need you to learn how to be a better human.
I'm going to need them to change their name before we start this dungeon.
Please don't come in there with a fucking 5-syllable name, okay? Because it's not going to happen.
God forbid somebody's got the barcode name of I's and dashes and shit.
Oh my god. Especially the Kel'Thuzad.
Have you seen that one? That one's horrible.
The Kel'Thuzad people, it's really bad. Murky, what's your Can You Not?
I don't have a Can You Not this week.
You don't even have, like, a normal Can You Not from, like...
Actually, you know what? As you were talking, I was thinking of a Can You Not that's really going to bother me. It's BlizzCon season. We're going to BlizzCon. We're having fun. But anyways, this bugged me the last 2 years because someone always photographs the drunk portly guy out by the fountain. Can you not tag me in that photo? Travis, on Facebook. I took a nap at the fountain once with my Horde banner. I'm not the fat guy that passes out every year at the fountain. That is not me.
Do we know that guy?
Actually, my friend Jacoby, my friend Jacob, he passed out at the fountain once, and like my friend Sal tagged me on Facebook, posted the guy like Travis, and And then so a lot of people just followed and was like, that's Travis passing out right there.
On that same one, how Chaos mistakenly pointed you out in that new pictures where he happened to have a Horde banner. He's like, oh, Murky's in that.
Yeah, wow. Just because I carry a big Horde banner with me doesn't mean I'm every Horde banner.
It wasn't even the same banner.
It wasn't.
The only similarities were they're both white. That's racist.
To be fair, I thought you were Spanky from fucking Little Rascals for a really long time because, like, that's, like, your personality. So I thought that was your name.
Oh. Because it happened last year. It was fucking hilarious. But then, like, people thought that was, like, really me, and they were, like, telling stories about when they saw the photo of me on Facebook. Like, that wasn't me.
What if you were the guy that fell asleep on the toilet? Who thinks that there isn't a picture out there in existence? But there is. I just can't find it. But it is.
Are you trying to wrestle my jimmies right now?
Oh.
Because
no, there was someone that used to be on the show.
There is a picture, and he doesn't believe that it exists, but I know it exists because I received said picture in the group text. I know it's on Bertha in one of her files because, you know, I move all my pictures off my phone like once a month. And but sometimes it takes me longer. I know I have the picture somewhere. I just need to find it. Jim, I would never give it to the public, I promise.
Yeah, I can't say I know anything about this because that son of a bitch took a video of me fucking snoring in the bed. Fuck you. I'm a portly guy. I snore.
What if I blurred out your face? Can I put it on the internet if I blurred out your face?
Yeah, you put it on the internet.
I mean, isn't there your guys' dick pics? I'm sure all of you, including Jim, isn't there dick pics floating somewhere on the internet?
Fucking Saucidin took a video of me when I was half buzzed rubbing my nipples. I sleep in the nude. I fell asleep on the floor in clothes and I tried to strip. That video exists.
Like, they walked in the room and you were randomly touching your nipples in your sleep. Like, that's...
I was trying to take my shirt off in my sleep.
That's deep and dark. I'm in, though.
I've got no shame. It's all out there now.
I haven't had shame since the 80s. Really, since my second child. Okay. Guys.
Fuck all those people. Fuck you, Jim. Fuck
that
you,
is about all we have for today.
But you were born in the 80s.
I hope you guys feel like this was a quality production. I want to take this time to say that Rem might kill me on the way to BlizzCon. So if I'm dead or you don't hear from me on Tuesday, it's because he killed me.
Yeah, if you don't see either of us at DishCon, look for the tree that has a car in it.
It'll be parked in the fountain.
I feel like he's really gonna... I gave him an out. I was totally like, I could drive myself. Are you sure this is what you want to do?
Yeah.
Like, the husband just put tires on the car.
Okay, so... good explanation of how I'm going to survive is I survived a ride from Texas to California with my mother. So I'm pretty sure I can survive in the car with anybody.
I think we can all agree I'm probably worse than your mom. I'm fucking relentless. I think we know that. It's true, all of it.
It's okay, Jim. You did make up for it, and we had fun, and we had those delicious-ass cupcakes that somebody gave us. They're going to be there this year.
I have those.
You're going to miss out.
Cuz.
Well,
keep the door open, push her out.
We are going to get on out of here. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening on iTunes, make sure you send, send a kudos, send a email, send a I love you. Von Buttstuff tweeted that he's very, very sad that he doesn't get to be here because his work. So I said, tell your boss you need that time off. You got a standing date. Then he says he is the boss, so.
Fucking fix it!
Just go into the bathroom with your phone. And Rem will do some, what is that called?
Self-starter?
What's that stuff when you speak slowly into the mic?
Oh, the ASMR?
Yes.
That could go in like 5 different directions. That could get weird.
Mr. Robot, because that's what it reminds me of, but...
As sexual, Mr. Robot.
A reminder that Gats is going to actually take pictures of us, and we're going to do the Pwnecast calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have my Bang Rank banana hammock, so I can't do the posters.
Just get your guys' money ready because we are going to have a Pwnecast calendar that's probably going to cost like $1.50 just for postage because we are quality production.
Can we have a koala in our pictures? A legit koala? Because, I mean, Lita's going to be in town.
That was good. I like that. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm going to be on Saturday. I'm doing a Stone show. I'm going to be on there. I don't know why they want me back.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
I broke all their rules.
Thanks for the invite.
I broke all their rules last time they had me on. So
I follow Lita's on her show, though. I kept her clean title.
Yeah, it's... I broke all the rules. Every rule they had, I broke it. All the fucks and cunts.
Or do they not swear?
It's like a not allowed. I mean, he obviously let me, but by the end of the show, he was joining in the fun.
Your discretion is
It's oddly freeing being able to say what you think and feel at the exact moment you think and feel it.
It's like holding in a fart. It's not healthy.
It's like when I thought it was going to be a fart, and then I was scared.
And then I get a text. It wasn't a fart.
In my brain, I was like, this doesn't feel like a normal fart. And I've been having bubble guts. I got a lot of anxiety, and I don't know if it's because the amount of RSVPs for the party is larger than it was last year. And I'm like, I don't know. But I was like, it feels like it's going to be not a fart. So maybe I should just go potty and make sure that this doesn't end in sadness. So I did text him and was like, guess what? I'm glad that I'm glad I made the decision to go downstairs. Anyway,
that was all bad.
Did you have the good toilet paper, the bad toilet paper?
My irritable bowel syndrome aside. Oh. Let's end the show on that note. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I'll stream tomorrow some random shit. We'll do some stuff.
Can do attitude, not a might.
You're right. I will stream tomorrow. I will. That is a promise. How about I stream first thing in the morning when I'm at my very best?
Oh, I would pay for that.
No, for reals though, I'm at my very best before noon.
Oh, I thought you meant like with your bedhead and everything. I was like...
You know I have no shame. I post that shit on Snapchat. I have zero shame. I will do a stream with my bedhead and everything. I don't even give a fuck. You guys know I don't have any shame.
You should drive over, Ron. Help her out.
I mean, I'm going to have to put a bra on because that's socially unacceptable.
I have a meeting in the morning.
Okay, while we're ending things, I am going to... What was I...
You were going to thank the rest of the people who gave us monies to do things.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me that you are making me a better person. So let me do that right now. There were people that did... back that didn't fill out the Kickstarter... that I wanted to make sure they got their things. Because it's important, even if you didn't, like, fill it out, that we still give you, you know...
We still actually appreciate you as a human being. Thank you.
Yeah, it's important. There are some of you who didn't fill out your surveys at all. Neil.
Soiled.
Medivh.
Yeah, and then are like, hey, where's my stuff? Hey, where's my... Okay, let me find out. All backers. Hold on. Let's do it. So, let's see. I thanked Adam Tyler. Jesse Taylor. Did I thank Jesse Taylor yet? I don't know if I did, but thank you, Jesse Taylor. Saxamillion. I think I thanked Saxamillion.
Yeah, you did, Zax. Yeah.
Okay. Did I thank Kimberly Tran? I feel like I thanked Kimberly Tran.
I feel like we did that one.
I think Homebrew. I didn't know who that is. They gave us $10. Homebrew. I don't know who you are because your name's not on here, but I appreciate you. Who was I forgetting? The people that didn't fill out the surveys is who it was. Hold on. Let me get my brain together, guys. We're going to be all right.
We forgot your names too, everybody, so good luck.
Not responded to the survey. Okay. John Baker. John Baker is our dude. He didn't respond to the survey. Tio didn't respond to the survey, and I actually reminded him 3 times because he didn't. He didn't last year either. I love him anyway. He just throws money at me. He's just what we do. KJ King. KJ King backed and didn't fill out the survey. Akoni, are you alive, Akoni? If you're listening to this, can you please send us a bat signal or an SOS?
I mean, he just bought a house, so I mean...
Like, if you're alive, press 1 or wink, and then text me and tell me you winked. Seriously, because you had just disappeared, and it scares me when you do that. And then Colin... Colin is a good friend of Pwnecast.
Is it Colin or Colin?
I don't know. It's Colin. He's Canadian.
But I'll see his colon.
do you mean you only have a Kickstarter email? What does that even mean? Then there's Neil. Neil is, I'm going to scrounge together some of the extra stuff from over ordering, and I'm going to maybe make his Millennium. Andre, you backed and did not. I feel like this was intended for you to actually get your rewards, because you even put the shipping amount in here, but this is another case of didn't fill out the
form properly.
Yeah, if you don't fill out your thing, I can't. Kilroy did to you. Kilroy, I appreciate that. Him and Epic both supported. But if you guys, I don't chase you, but I did. I posted a lot for that. I think that's pretty much all the people that were left that we didn't. I think.
Oh, did you get the most important person? Build Grandpa?
I thanked him last week already.
Okay.
He's always the first person I thank, because he's always literally like the first backer. He's my favorite.
He's amazing.
Don't forget at DitchCon, I have those skulls that he purchased from the auction and sent to me to give away.
One might disappear. Just kidding.
What?
I do have those skulls to give away at DitchCon.
Oh,
okay. There was a story I was going to tell you. And I told you guys I was going to tell you during credits. You guys reminded me. I don't remember.
That's your irritable bowel syndrome.
It was probably about that. It might have been. Guys, we're
Toilet paper? Toilet paper story?
Yes, I am going to tell you the toilet paper story. While we're rolling credits. Okay.
They see me rolling.
So, I went to the store yesterday. I compared the toilet paper. In the very back was the older toilet paper. I grabbed a ton, plus I grabbed some for the hotel.
Is it the same stuff though? Is it
literally... It's the old good version where it's the soft and it's not the ribbed for not her pleasure, right? But then my husband was like, "You're nuts." "What do you mean I'm nuts?" And he's like, "It's toilet paper." And I'm like, "So have you used the toilet paper recently?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "That's weird. We've had that toilet paper for like 2 weeks. You haven't wiped."
That's worrisome.
Right? So he goes, "Oh yeah, like I've used it when I've pooed." And I'm like, "How did that fucking feel?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, it was terrible." Then why are you telling me I'm nuts then? Clearly I'm not crazy if you equally felt like your butthole's ready for its first coat of primer.
The best part is that you tweeted to them and like, "Oh yeah, we did change something." They're like, "How did you find out?"
I'll feel it. Like, my underparts feel all the things, but I do have the new toilet paper now. Well, the older toilet paper. So
you should always know how everything feels about you in and out.
I'm going to post a picture on Twitter of the difference between the two toilet papers so other people can notice that it's not just them, that it is a difference in the toilet paper. With that being said, I'm officially going to end the stream now with all that weird toilet paper.